Let's see here. How we doing, guys? This is Hack Nation Live. I'm your host, Aaron Bennett, coming to you every Wednesday from 7 to 9 Central Time. Here I am. We were going to have Tim from Excalibur Diesel on tonight, but he had some mechanical emergencies come up, and, the customer comes first, so he's rescheduling for a couple weeks from now. So how we all doing? I'm not doing so good. I didn't get any sleep last night. I'm probably running on about 4 hours of sleep right now, but we'll live. So yeah, and we're gonna have Diesel Beast on, or Joseph, I can't remember which one, but the Worldwide Diesel guys are going to be on in a couple weeks as well. What is the shirt tonight? Twas the Tylenol, my lord. I thought it was pretty damn funny with all the evidence from how detrimental Tylenol is. I've always avoided Tylenol and Advil. When I was a little kid, my mom would always tell me how terrible they were. I don't know how she knew, but do you miss the haul road? To be completely honest with you, I have to say probably not. So if you kind of hard to encapsulate here, but the Alaska Haul Road is different than anywhere on planet Earth because it's a bunch of guys up there working for competing companies. It's heavily competitive, highly competitive, but the atmosphere up there is everybody's brother and everybody's got your back. And kind of a way to explain that is if I'm running the Alaska Haul Road and I have a problem and I have to pull over to the side of the road and I have to lift my hood up, it doesn't matter how many guys come after. Nobody is going to go around me and continue on their journey. Everyone will stop. And it doesn't matter if there's 20 trucks lined up, which would be pretty rare because the traffic's not heavy. But nobody's going to go around you. Everybody's going to come see if they can contribute to helping you get back on your way. And they may hate your guts. They may be your arch nemesis, but there's no way in hell they're going to just leave you on the side of the road because it's just so that part of it, of course, I miss that. I miss the camaraderie, just the general prestige of it. Knowing you're one of maybe 300 of the nation's most elite drivers doing the most dangerous thing there is. That's the half of it. The other half of it, though, is you're doing one of the most dangerous jobs in the United States, and it just fucking wears on you, man. It just wears on you. So, no, I don't miss that part, man. I remember I got a load, and they were demanding I take it one night in particular. It was freezing cold, but then it had warmed up and started to rain, but the ground was still like 30 below. So it was a sheet of ice, and man, I had a panic attack before I took my load out, and that's how stressful that road can be. No thanks. They pay insane amounts of money for you to run that road, but they have to because it's so damn. The only truck stop in the whole entire state is at the beginning of the Elliott Highway, which is your start to the haul road. And you go inside and they have a room that's only for truckers, and all the walls are covered with all the names of people that died doing the trip you're getting ready to make. And it's a little unnerving. It's a shit gig, really, So all my brothers did it. All my family does it, did it at least. And yeah, I mean, there's things about it I miss, of course, and Alaska is an amazing place, but I wouldn't give up anything I'm doing to go back there. So hopefully that makes sense. But what would be the catastrophic failure on a Cummins with 500,000 miles on it? That would be the same as the catastrophic failure on anything with 500,000 miles on it. It could be a myriad of things. But most diesel engines technically shouldn't fail in 500,000 miles. Most of your catastrophic failures on any diesel engine inside of a certain amount of miles or usage or wear and tear. In other words, the engine is just fucking wore out. It's simply an external event of some kind. I mean, obviously, you have that window where somebody may rebuild it and it's a technician error or it's a parts failure. You guys know how I feel about the rarity of a parts failure, but doesn't mean that they don't happen. But if you have a truck that you put 200,000 miles on, it was rebuilt 200,000 miles ago, the odds of whatever failure you're experiencing um, being a technician failure or parts failure is basically zero, right? They don't go that long and fail. They fail way sooner. Same thing with 600,000 miles. You know, if you have a catastrophic failure, 600,000 miles, that engine is designed to go much longer than that. You're most likely dealing with like what Todd Skinner just said. Heat is number one. You know, I talk often about head gasket failures. You know, I've never, ever in all these years seen a head gasket fail for the head gasket's sake ever in my life. It's never happened. It's either installation error, some kind of tuning issue, or some kind of external event. It got hot as fuck for some reason. Same thing with the rest of the engine. You're not going to catastrophically fail. I mean, obviously, there's an exception to everything. You can have engines that make it to 600,000 and just something gives and it goes kaput. But even in those instances, guys, I personally believe no, it's still some kind of external event, lack of maintenance, something of that nature. They don't just spontaneously combust, right? How far can you turn an ISX 15 450 Cummins? How far can you turn it up? A 450, and I don't have, you know, I'm going to guess here a little bit. I don't have that number right in front of me, but you know, that CPL probably the max it would probably go to is 500 or 535, somewhere in there. It's certainly not much higher than that, if it can even go that far. It kind of depends on, you know, there's going to be for every CPL a max it can go to. Like we have a 475 in here right now, whose max is a 500. And the gentleman that owned it took it to a guy and he fixed it up for him and put 700 horsepower tune on it, made it a 10,000 more miles and blew up, you know. What's up, Diesel Beast? Since I don't have a guest, I'm probably going to try to spend more time in the comment section than I normally do. Somebody, and I see I got a couple callers. I'll get to you guys here in just a second. Somebody asked me a question on here, and they asked me beforehand if I'd answer it. Let me see if I can find it. I have a 6NZ 550 with an 18. I have 370s. I run a lot interstate with 355s or 336 speed. Good God. Would different gear ratios be better? I mean, it depends entirely on what you do. Like when I was running in Alaska, all of my trucks had short legs, you know, and it kicked my ass when I came down to the States with all of my trucks because, you know, max speed on pretty much every truck I had was 65. They were wrapped out 1,700 RPMs at 65 miles an hour. But when I needed to climb mountains, which is what I needed to do all the fucking time, they were billy goats. And I certainly never complained about the fact you couldn't cruise 75, 80 miles an hour in them. So it really depends on what do you do with it. And if you're running a lot of interstate, you know, you don't need to be a billy goat. You know, you're going to get better fuel mileage, you know, especially with a cat, you know, like a 6NZ. Your difference in fuel consumption between 1,300 and 1,500 or even 1,500 to 1,600 is astronomical. Your fuel consumption on if you're running right around 1,450 and your fuel consumption up to 1,650, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like another, you're like losing a mile per gallon. It's crazy how much fuel your Caterpillar engine, man, it wants to run low RPMs. If it's going to get good fuel mileage, those RPMs have to be way down there. But anyway, guys, we'll take a couple callers here, but I will come back to the comment section for sure. I kind of wanted to focus on that tonight because we don't have Tim here. This guy's back saying the same comment you said last week. My 3406B through a BR549 code. Well, 3406Bs don't have a computer. They don't throw codes. And you said it like 50 times last time. So I don't really get what you're talking about, brother. Now you're back doing it again. What is that? That's so annoying. Sorry about that. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take a caller here. You guys will have to bear with me. I'm really tired. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, but you're on the air, man. What can we do for you?
Hey, good evening there. Just had a question regarding a C15 cylinder head. I'm wondering about the Jera heads. You say I think I've heard you say they're the best out there. But you say people usually put in the American valves. And so I'm wondering what the difference is if they just leave the Jera valves in there.
So, uh, because I mean, so the industry jokingly refers to them as chinkanol valves. Okay. And they're made in China. Well, the whole head's made in China, and it's the most phenomenal head on the market. But the valves are subpar, right? They're not. And it's not that the valve machining and all that. They make good valves, but they're not Inconel, so they're not nearly as hardy, right? And so everybody replaces them out to Inconel valves, uh, which are American made, and because they're just 10 times the product as far as resilience and their longevity and all of that. You know, if you buy a standard stage 2 head from pretty much anybody out there, they're only changing out the Inconel valves on the exhaust side. They're still leaving the Chinese valves on the intake side. You have to upgrade to a stage 3 head, and that's what you're getting when you get a stage 3 head. Is they also do the intake side as well. That makes sense.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what might happen with just leaving the original valves in it.
Probably nothing. But I don't even know anybody that offers them without changing out the exhaust side valves. And I think it's because back in the day they had a lot of problems with them. So I'm not even aware of anybody that sells them without changing those valves. At least the exhaust side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I was wondering is about those valves, I guess.
10-4, brother. Well, good luck out there. Have a good night.
All right. See ya.
Right. And it is absolutely fucking freezing in here, which is nice to be able to say. Being here in, just going to swing the door here. I had a silent run AC unit installed in here. It's a freaking 3-ton. Man, it cools it down fast. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and take another caller here because so many people are calling in. You know, the nights you want people to call, it's hard to get a caller. And then when you want to get up in the comment section, it blows up. You're on the air. What can we do for you? Hello.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, yep. You got a 12.7 Detroit or something like that?
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm not a diesel mechanic by no means, so don't laugh at me. I got a 2002 12.7, and I've been noticing some white smoke coming out the exhaust as I'm running, and this truck's kind of being babied, just pulling a little gooseneck trailer. You know, maximum weight on it's usually between 10 and 20,000. And it happens every now and then. I changed out the fuel filter. I haven't noticed any difference in it, and it doesn't do it every day. It just does it sometimes. So, is there anything I should be looking at?
Yeah, I mean, what you're describing there is indicative of a bad injector, right? And the thing is the engine will run so efficiently on the 5 other cylinders that for the most part it won't seem like you have a bad injector. And some of the telltale signs is when you're lugging it, it'll puff white smoke. When you first start it up, it'll puff white smoke. When you're working it really hard,
Okay,
aka lugging it, I had a bad injector out in the BXS. It took me like 3 weeks to figure out that's what was going on because I just swore it ran too good for a bad injector, but that's exactly what's going on. And every time I was delivering sand down on a beach basically, and every time I would get down in that sand and have to lug it back out, I would just fill the whole job site up with smoke, But as soon as I get going, she'd run great. But that's what that's what it sounds like. I mean, you got to remember that if you had some kind of other mechanical issue going on, valves or a valve train or something like that, it wouldn't be intermittent like that. So it just screams injector.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, I've been listening to your show for a while, but I think I never heard the question asked, and it usually happens between like 12 and 1500 RPMs, and that's just idling through Seattle there. And okay, well, I enjoy your show, man, and I don't get to listen to you every day, but thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Good luck, man.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Do I know anything about 5.9 Cummins? Of course I do, man. We've actually rebuilt quite a few 5.9 Cummins. I've never built one that went in a pickup. I've owned a couple 5.9 Cummins. I've never rebuilt one that went in a pickup, but we have rebuilt quite a few of them in industrial applications that are in sprayers and stuff like that. We're very familiar with the 5.9 Cummins. Anyway, back to the callers here. Larry, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, man, I got a VSX Caterpillar. I'm going to do a pressure test on my... Hey, man, this is Larry. I got a VSX. I'm going to do a pressure test on the air coolers. I was taking the hoses off the engine. And, I'm going to take the hoses off put it both on the engine and plug in and then pressurize the other side. I was wondering what an acceptable pressure drop would be in like 5 minutes.
Oh my God. Let me go to the comment section. I know this, and I should know this. I own the tool that you're talking about that has the gauge, but I can't remember. I haven't done one of those pressure tests in probably a year. We do them here, but I haven't personally done one. I can't remember. I want to say it's 5 pounds in X amount of time, or it's 3 pounds. Come on, comment section, help me out here. I can't remember. I can't remember exactly what the loss is, but there is a loss for sure. You're going to be losing air right out the gate, and that doesn't mean that it's bad. K2 diesel repair, which he would most likely know, he says it's 5 pounds in 15 minutes. So there you go. I thought it was
okay.
I thought there was way more tolerance than that.
I was losing like a pound every minute, something like that.
Yeah. He says 5 pounds in 15 minutes, and I'm not going to say he's wrong because I know Lucas is a smart guy and he knows his shit. But man, I could swear it's not that extreme. 5 pounds in 15 minutes. Another gentleman says 1 to 3 pounds per 5 minutes. So it sounds like you're, give or take, you're right up against the threshold there. So
yeah, I'm kind of in the ballpark. I soak tested. I couldn't find anything.
Probably because you don't have a problem. That'd be my guess. I mean, you're certainly not leaking off a lot of air.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, I didn't take the air condenser off before I could pressure test all that, but I could do all the way around the edges and on the bottom and top.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't sound like you have a problem. I mean, you're leaking a pound in how long, you said? Pound a minute?
About a pound a minute.
Yeah. So
it took, I pressured it up like 18 pounds and it took 5 minutes to get down to 13.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like it's more than what's acceptable, right? But it doesn't sound like you have something detrimental going on either. I'm not sure I would get too excited about it, but a bad air to air can burn a lot of stuff up. So I'm not telling you don't look at getting a new air to air. I mean, if you're just, I mean, you're obviously testing it because you're worried about it for some reason. So when in doubt, right? You know, and it sounds like you.
Well, my exhaust gas temperatures went up some on me, and I was just trying to find where that was. I don't think they're hot enough to bother anything, but
What are
I
they?
did notice a change.
Right. What are they running at?
Running about running about 750, and it is twin turbo.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. So if it's a twin turbo,
Okay,
instead of worrying too much about the air to air, make sure you look at all of your those accordion horns that connect all the turbos together. Those are notorious for leaking. I would check all that as well.
that's right. Okay, I appreciate it, buddy. I like the show.
Yeah, but 750 is not hot.
Okay,
All right.
okay. I feel better.
All
Thanks.
right. Have a good night. Bye. You know, somebody in the comment section over there on TikTok says, "Oh, he's a hack for a reason." Two things there, buddy. Number one, I don't claim to know everything. Anybody that does is a lying sack of shit. I certainly can't remember everything, right? I can't even remember people's names very well. But the second thing is go fuck yourself. You don't have to watch the show. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, back to the callers. Here we go. Junior, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, how you doing? I just got a question about the Jared heads from China.
Yeah, those fucking Chinese heads.
No, just wondering, back in the day, were they always made in China or were they made in the U.S.?
No, they've always been made in China. Caterpillar
Like from the beginning?
Oh yeah. For Jera's always been made in China. So, for the longest time, Cat was the name in the game. And Cummins, I believe, was making theirs all in Brazil, but Cat was making them here. They were actually making them here, and they had a facility that was like freaking 20-foot football fields big, where they would produce cylinder heads, and they just don't anymore. So all they do now is reman the old heads. And there was a huge gap in there where the only thing you could get was a reman head. And they were all, the longer it went on, the worse it got. And so people started turning to Chinese heads. And obviously that wasn't, it didn't work out very well at first. And then Jera came on the scene. I can't remember how many years ago, but they just made a damn good head. And they make a head for every engine out there pretty much. And they're just smart about it. They made them way bigger cooling channels. It's 30% bigger cooling channel than a Cat head, has 5% more nickel in it. The only weak spot on the head is the valves. And so everybody changes them, and you have the best head on the market. Even your biggest diehards, diehard OEM Cummins guys and your diehard Cat parts guys, these days you almost never find a guy that won't admit that the aftermarket head is better, no matter how diehard they are, right? Because it's just been proven that the aftermarket heads are substantially better.
Okay, cool. Who was making the Detroit heads back then?
I don't know. I think the OEM held on to the market for a long time by remanning them. They still do, right? They still do reman them, but they had the market for a long time. I remember, geez, even back in, not that long ago, 5-6 years ago in North Dakota, I was like desperately trying to find a Detroit head, and I had to get a Detroit reman 60 series head, and it cost me like $6,000, and it was a turd when I got it. So,
oh shit.
so
yeah, man.
I don't even hesitate. Like the heads that we're doing right now. We did finish our R&D engine today. We started up. Can't wait to go put 7, 8, 10,000 miles on it. But that has one of our heads on it. It says Hacknation stamped right into it. But I haven't been shy to tell you guys it's a Jera head, right? I can't find a better product out there than Jera, so of course that's the one I'm going to use. There are a few others, AFA supplies a head that's a different manufacturer. Guys tend to have decent luck with those. ATL, they have a head as well. I do know a few people that have had some problems with those, but they have a following of people that have good luck with them as well. And PAI has a head. Somebody just said in the comment section, but PAI's head's a Jera head, guys. So what PAI does, and of course I'm speculating here, but I'm not speculating on whether they have a Jera head or not, but they claim theirs is made in the United States. And the way that they do that is if you add more than 50% of the value, then you can say it's made in the United States. And I think they change out the valves and they do this and that. And then they jack the price up more than two times what they pay for it, because they have the most expensive head on the fucking market, even though it's the same head as everybody else. That way they can say it's made in the United States,
Nice.
right?
Yeah. So when did Cat actually stop manufacturing heads? Do you know, around what era? 90s?
I don't know.
Early 2000s?
I don't know. But man, they hardly make anything.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Here's the thing you need to remember about both Cat and Cummins is most of the stuff that...
I'm just curious.
Right, but I don't know the exact answer to that. I mean, Google might tell you. Yeah, and they still might make new heads, but they're not making them here. They're making them in China. Caterpillar is massive in China, and 99% of the parts you get from Cat are made in China. The same with Cummins.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. One more question before I go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just my same Freightliner Columbia I got with the 12.7 Detroit. I turned the Jake on one time. I was going down a hill, and then I heard the engine knocking. So I turned the Jake off, and it went away. So I don't know what that could be. So I turned the Jake on a couple of times, and it worked for a good amount. And then all of a sudden, I heard a knocking noise. So I don't know what do you think that could be?
What engine is it?
12.7.
When you turn the Jake on, it starts having a knocking noise.
Yeah. Not right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're having a slave valve get stuck or something, and it's continuing to hold the exhaust valve closed, and it's beating the shit out of itself. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, shit. Okay. Cool. All right. Oh, I guess that's it for me.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
See in the comment sections, people were asking me, what about PAI's head? What about Interstate McBee's head? They're all the same head, guys. They're all the same head. They come in the same box. Same head, same box. The head that we're doing, we have to take it out and, because we're stripping the entire head and getting everything coated and doing all ink and all everything, and doing all the coatings and all that and putting it back together. Then we're reboxing it in another box. But, and I have our brand etched right into it. And I'm still not going to fucking lie to everybody and tell you it's something it's not, right? I think that we've taken the best head on the market and made it better. Is what it is. Do you change out both sides, exhaust and intake, and coat any of the parts? Yes, that's what we're doing with our head. We're changing both intake and exhaust. We're doing we call it the stage 3+ head. A stage 4 head, guys, if you're wondering, is where you're firing it. I'm against fire ringing heads. So I will never offer a fire ringed head. I think it's a ripoff to do that to people. They think they're getting something that they're not. But Inconel intake and exhaust valves that are Teflon coated, and then your Teflon coated bearings, and then we take all the springs, and the springs get isotropic super finish to get rid of all the surface tension. And then we put them back in. So we make the spring stronger, 100%. Well, anyway, why no fire ringing? Well, we got a lot of callers here. Guys that are on hold, give me 5 seconds. I will get to you. I think I owe an explanation. Why no fire ringed heads? Stage 4 head's a fire ringed head. And the reason I'm not a fan of fire ringed heads or raised liners, I use them. A lot of Stuff I buy already has it on it. Again, how many years I've been, for however many years I've been doing this, I have never, ever seen a head gasket fail for the head gasket's sake, ever. I don't believe in head studs. I don't believe in raised liners. I don't believe in fire ringed heads because I have never seen a head gasket fail for the sake of the head gasket in my life. I've never seen it happen. An external event takes out your head every single time, and it's almost always heat related, tuning related, also heat related, by the way. It's always an external event, or if it's right away, it's some kind of technician error. Caterpillar, you rolled the grommets, Cummins, you put it down and it creased the side of the head gasket. Something stupid. Liner dropped, whatever it might be. But head gaskets don't fail for their own sake. So that fire ring, that raised liner, those head studs, they're not going to make the head gasket last for any longer than it was going to under normal circumstances anyhow. So if I'm out here pitching fucking head studs to you, or pitching fire ringed heads or this and that, and you're paying an extra $700, $800, $1,100 to get that product, it's just lipstick. I'm just putting lipstick on a pig and talking you into buying it. It's just not who I am, man. I'm and you can say it's completely false all you want, but what, 13 years later, I have never seen it happen. And when I talk to other technicians, Charlie, Pure Diesel Repair, Tim at Excalibur, and then all kinds of other guys that I know really well, I've never had any of them say anything different. They all agree. None of those things help at all. Lucas, he was on the show, said the same thing. The guy from Canada, I can't remember his name, super awesome guy, said the same thing. If you want to do those things because it makes you feel cool, I'll sell you. I mean, give me a call. I mean, I have access to stage 4 heads. I'll sell you one. We also had a company approach us with head studs, and they're awesome head studs. And the price point on them was amazing. I could have retailed those head studs back to the general public for, red card. That's what I called them on the show. That's funny. I don't think he liked that, though. I could have retailed those head studs back to the public for $600. I mean, people would have bought the shit out of those, but I just couldn't justify it in my mind because I was going to have to make videos telling people, get your head studs. These are going to do this and do that. And it's I don't believe it. I don't believe it myself. I'm not going to try and talk people into buying something just because it's a good price point and it's a cool looking product that I don't believe in myself. That's horseshit. So anyway, back to the colors. You're on the air, Tristan.
Yes, sir. Hey, I got a question regarding a NXS C15 ACERT. Have you experienced any motors getting blow-by from a bad turbo seal, causing crankcase pressure and excessive oil loss out of the blow-by tube?
So that is a thing, right? I'm not going to come on here and say it's not a thing because we all know it is a thing. Your compressor can do the same thing. And I've actually seen the compressors a lot of blow-by. I have never personally seen a turbo cause blow-by, but I do know it's a thing. It can happen. Okay. I've never personally seen it happen. That makes me think it's probably pretty rare. But here's something to know about the ACERT. Caterpillar came out with a oil catchment for the blow-by system for the ACERT because it's notorious for not necessarily having really bad blow-by, but for putting a lot of oil on the ground when it's sitting around idling away. And you'll see, and it's not every ACERT, it's like every third or fourth one does it. And their fix for that was to put a catchment on it, and it works. There's nothing wrong with the engine. It just won't keep the oil in the damn thing, right? I've installed them on several ACERTs myself that just chug oil out on the ground. Now, if you have actual blow-by, like you're getting rid of mosquitoes, that's a different problem. Is that what you have going on? Do you have lots of CFM crankcase pressure? Is that what's going on?
No, it really just has a. So I rebuilt the motor. It's got like 200,000 miles on it. But when I rebuilt it, I dropped the compression to 16-1 and had it tuned and turned all the IBAs and junk off, or however all that works. But I left the compounds on it. And over the last 10 to 15,000 miles, it has started it's always had a little drip to it out of the blow-by tube, but over the last 10 to 15,000 miles, it has started making a mess of the truck. And it don't necessarily have a lot of like blow-by, like smoke or, but it has a light haze out of the tube, but mainly just slobber and oil everywhere.
Yeah, you probably broke a ring. You can't leave the turbos on. It builds way too much pressure on 16-1 compression, and it tends to break the rings. If you're lucky, if you're unlucky, it'll crack out the head as well.
Okay, so 16-1 packs with compounds is not a good idea.
Not unless you want to break rings and have blow-by problems. That's a great idea.
Okay. You're the first one to tell me that. A lot of people love them, so they wouldn't have them any other way. But
I won't.
I've had people.
I would never warranty one like that. No way in hell.
Okay.
I already know in advance you're gonna have all kinds of
that
problems.
was okay. That was the best option to single turbo it after the problem is fixed.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to do, especially on your Acer, man, they have such a solid crown. The Acer is the engine I have done the most re-rings on. And on my own engines back in the day, I would re-ring them. There's some engines I had that were on their third re-ring, so the pistons were on their third go round. They have a very resilient piston crown. So, just get a re-ring kit. It's like $1,800 or something. I know it's a big bitch and all that, and you got to pull the head off, but parts wise, you won't be into it a shit ton of money. Just throw a re-ring kit back in it and get back after it.
Okay.
But yeah, get rid of the twins.
All righty. I appreciate it.
Hey, have a good night, brother. Good luck. Is AFA a good kit brand for ISX Cummins? I'm going to say what I always say here, guys, and callers, I will get to you. I just want to interact with the comment section as much as I can. Do I fly cut the 16 pistons? No, I don't. Have we ever fly cut pistons? Yes, we have. I don't like doing that, but we will do it. As far as the AFA kit, I kind of feel the same about all the kits. As you guys know, I've said this a million times. I tested all the kits pretty extensively, multiple different versions of every kit, and tested the shit out of them, right? And they all, I made it a decision a long time ago not to come on here or make videos just saying this guy's better than this guy and all of that. Okay. And I'm not going to start doing it now. But what I will tell you is in all instances, I use the OEM as my control, my litmus, my tester to see what everything compared to. And 100% of the aftermarket kits outperform the OEM. There you go. Anyway, back to the callers. Here, brother. What can I do for you?
How's it going today?
Good, man. Hit me with it.
Okay, so I'm the guy that asked about those 5.9s on your comment section.
Yeah, yep. We sold one of those today.
Yeah. Okay. I was driving to work one morning and I started to have a misfire in cylinder 5. Okay. And then I got it to the shop. I took the valve cover off, and number 5 push rod was off the lifter. Like, push rod was fine and everything.
I'm tracking with you, brother. Come on.
You still hear me?
Yeah, I'm tracking with you. Come on with it.
Okay, so number 5 push rod was off. So I put it all back together and started it, and number 5 cylinder still had a misfire. Took the injector out, and the injector was bad. I put a new injector in, did the same thing. So what am I doing wrong?
Well, I would look at correlation here. So it's just the injector is bad in the same hole that the push rod came off.
Yes.
Is that push rod operate the injector?
Yes.
Right. So
no, it's the injectors are electronic, right?
no,
Because it's a 5.9.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's a common rail, right?
Yes.
Right. So sorry. I mean, your push rod falling off randomly is kind of not a thing, right? It usually means you have some camshaft damage.
Okay.
And if you have camshaft damage there, where else do you have camshaft damage, right?
Yeah.
I would guess that push rod fell off because the lifter fell down too far riding on the camshaft.
Okay. The only other thing I could think of, maybe.
Hang on, my buddy Bryant Grizzly. He pointed out, or you could have a sucked valve. That would cause the same thing. Basically, as long as you have enough slack for but the push rod didn't just fall out. I guess that's the moral of the story, right? You're gonna have to dig deep and find out why, but you can't really just put that push rod back on and go along your merry way, right? And I would guess that whatever's going on with your injector is actually related. And come to think of it, you probably have a sucked valve more likely, and that's why it's telling you have a bad injector, is because the valve's wide open, so to speak, and that's what caused your that's much more likely. That's what caused the push rod to fall off, and that's why it seems like there's a bad injector in that hole. The cylinder head's no good.
Okay. So should I start pulling the head off then and redo the valves? Could also do valve adjustments too, right? Relapse the valves. Would that help?
No, not with your problem.
Okay. So I'm into it now, is what you're saying.
Another gentleman in the comment section said it's a broken tappet if it's a 5.9 common rail. And that could be too. But have you put that push rod back on and ran it a little bit and it stayed?
Yeah, it stays. It works like it's supposed to. Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards the valve because you're having injector problems in the same hole. I just had an Acer in here that he had put a new injector in it in Corpus, then went to Midland and put in a new injector, then went to Dallas, put in a new injector, then came to my shop, and we figured out it was actually a sucked valve was that problem. And every time he got an injector test, including here, it said he had a bad injector. And I actually ordered an injector to put it in. I was like, you know what? We're going to put this injector in. It's not going to fix it. Let's pull the head up and see what's going on. And we couldn't find any problem. But once we pulled the head up, it was like super obvious right away.
Yeah, because I had that injector replaced 4 months ago. I put a reman in it. And then every once in a while, that number 5 will give me issues. Like, it would act like the injector's not working. And then say I'm mad it, and it'll clean itself out, and away I go again. But this time, it didn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably going out this whole time. But, yeah, you got to pop that head off and see what's going on, brother.
Okay, perfect. I will do that. Could I put a scope down there and check, make sure like my cylinder walls and everything are good too?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have the head off, you're gonna see that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But
Okay. Perfect.
all right, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Yep. You too. Bye.
Now, if you have a really badass scope, you can get the kind that will bend back and look back up and see a bad valve. We have one like that here. It's pretty cool. I didn't ask him that, obviously. Anyway, guys, lots of callers. Holy moly. A lot of people are asking for the number, but I don't even want to give it out because there's so many people. The number is 573-422-4225. That's 573-422-4225. There is 12 people on hold, though, so let's get after them. You didn't say your name, but you said my sister Grace. So whoever you are, you're on the air.
Marcus. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, man, hit me with it.
Hello?
Hit me with it, brother. Let's go.
Okay, hey, so I've got a 6V Caterpillar that I just did a rebuild on yesterday, and I think I made it a total of 60 miles, and now it's blowing smoke out of the exhaust and the blow-by tube both.
Who rebuilt it? You?
What's that?
Who rebuilt it?
Yeah, I did it myself, the rebuild. I did.
Okay, if I'm just going to take a quick holster guess, you bent a cooling jet.
Yeah. Well, I will have to give that a look. Yeah, because like you said, it was doing fine last night, and then today after I put it on a load, I think I made it about maybe 45 miles with that load today, and it started smoking like a freight train.
Yeah, you got one hole completely burnt out.
So that probably means I gotta take the head back off and everything.
Just do that one hole.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Well, good thing I got this Max Force that I'm driving in right now.
Right on, brother. Well, good.
Well, thank you, man.
Yep, good luck with that one.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Thanks, man. All right, bye.
Believe it or not, the most common mistake that I've seen in this industry that guys make when they rebuild their own is that right there. They bend the cooling jets, or they, not necessarily when they're doing installation and stuff like that, but that's the most common thing that I see is they lose a hole or two from a bent cooling jet. Anyway, so if you're going to rebuild your own, take the cooling jets out, treat them like eggs, make sure you get them back in there. Jose Coronado, you're on the air, brother.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I don't know. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
So I guess I'm asking more, see if you know about the TERP program. So I have a 1995 W900 with a 3406E. I had someone rebuilt it about 200,000 miles, right under, and it's been having blow-by for a while. So I put it in the TERP program. It got accepted. They offered me $155,000 for it, and I'm kind of on the fence whether to do it. If I do it, what motor should I stick with? Whether it be Packer or Cummins?
I'm not familiar with the program. Once they take your I'm assuming it's an engine. It's a place that buys your engine to get it off of the market.
So basically, I would have to cut the frame in half and drill the hole into the engine. They'll give me $155K to go by. I believe it has to be within the last 3 years, the truck. So they'll give me $155 or up to 80% of the purchase price.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, using stolen loot, taxpayer money to fund all that, but sure. What should you go get? I mean, I know what I would go get, right? But I know what I would go get, and I can give you a few reasons why. I would go get a 389 Peterbilt with an X15 in it. That's what I would go get. There's two reasons for that. Okay. Number one reason is 15 years from now, I'll be able to resell it. for a decent price.
Yeah, for sure.
Same reason I buy Toyotas for my personal vehicle, right? Like they're worth more after I clap them out for 15 years. It seems like they're worth more than they were when they bought them. Like them and Subarus. But anyhow,
in Mexico.
but the reason I would go with the X15, even though I'm not a big fan of the Cummins engine, but it is because the rebuildability of it is there. There's lots of support for it. It's a very affordable engine to not necessarily to maintain with all the emission stuff, so to speak, but it's a very affordable engine to overhaul and things of that nature. If you ever get to the point where it's a catastrophic failure, you're not gonna have to mortgage your house like you would with a PACCAR or a DD15 or something like that. They're gonna get more mileage, but once they go, and here's the other thing: is a 389 with a PACCAR sitting in it, with a broken PACCAR in it, isn't worth shit. 389 with a Cummins in it, broken Cummins in it, it's still worth quite a bit of money, right?
Yeah. And the other question. Okay, so here's part 2 of that question. I have with that program, I've had my authority for 13 years, and I'm kind of on the fence of getting out of it completely. I have the option to sell the truck with the program. Obviously, I'm here in San Antonio. They would have to approve them that they run the truck here in the counties that they're trying to, they approved it for. And I've kind of thrown out the idea to some people of, hey, I'm willing to sell it, but they're like, okay, well, how much would you want for the truck with the program? And that's kind of a question that I don't think anybody knows how to answer it. And maybe you have an idea of what something like that would be worth.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's the answer for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the time.
Yep. Good luck with that venture, okay, brother?
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Man, I'm so sore. No context. Aaron Moreland, you're on the air, brother. What do we got?
How you doing, bud? I've got a 2004 379 with a Acer C15. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I'm having a problem. I keep throwing money at this thing. It's losing power. When I first bought the truck, it would make about 50 to 52 pounds of boost, and now I can't get it over 40. About 35 realistically, but 40 max, like trying to shove your foot through the floorboard. I've tried fuel filters, air filters, the heavier spring in the injection pump, and because of the fuel pressure at the CompuCheck valve was only about 95, and it's nothing's fixing it.
Does it still have the factory exhaust?
No, it's got 7-inch straights. That's another thing. I put a new, it was leaking, the manifold gasket was leaking, and a couple of the clamps on the turbos. I had all that replaced too. New air-to-air.
So one thing you need to know about the Acer is it's very susceptible to ambient air temperature, right? If you're running around in 90 some degree weather, it's hard pressed to hit 40 pounds of boost, 40, 42, 45. You get into colder weather and you can see 60 pounds of boost. It's very affected by the ambient air temperature. And I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. The other thing is, if you're quite certain you're having a boost pressure issue, most of the time, if you can't figure out what's going on with it, it's some kind of a derate of some kind.
Okay. Okay.
Does it?
I mean, I'm thinking possibly a fuel issue, maybe like a fuel line, maybe pulling
Nah.
stuff in. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. Just let me ask you a few questions here. Is it just like, are you looking at the boost gauge and just feel like it's not building a lot of boost, or is it way underpowered?
No, like it gets to 40 and stops. It feels like it's there until it gets right there, and but
that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you forget that you can even see the gauge. Is it
okay?
Obviously underpowered.
No, I mean for the average person to drive it, they would think it would be like a normal truck. I mean, it's tuned a little bit. It probably makes a little over 6, and it's probably running like it's a 475.
Okay, so it's derated.
Okay.
The ECM is not letting it build that much boost. That's why you can't find the problem.
Okay. All right. So just look it up and see what the code is, because the check engine light doesn't show on the dash. So I don't even know if I've got a check engine light.
Yeah, I would check the codes first with a computer. There might be something in there. If you don't have any codes, there are a couple of different sensors that will derate that truck and not throw a code. Your barometric pressure sensor, your boost pressure sensor, and your intake air temp sensor. All three of those will, and your coolant temp sensor as well. Believe it or not, all 4 of those can cause it to derate and not throw a code.
Okay, well so you saying something about the coolant temp? It has kicked on a low coolant level and shut off, and the reservoir be full.
Okay.
Does that
your coolant
sound like it could be the?
If your coolant temp sensor can't detect what the temperature of the coolant is, it will derate the engine because it fuels according to the temperature of the intake, and it's reading all of these signals. What's the temperature of the engine, the oil, what's the temperature of the intake air, what's the exhaust temperature, and it fuels accordingly. What's the barometric pressure, and it's fueling off all those. And if any of those aren't reading, it will derate the engine.
I gotcha. Okay. I mean, that helps a lot.
I mean, maybe, obviously I'm guessing from here, but if you brought it into me, that's probably where I would go. I would probably start by changing the coolant temp sensor for the obvious reasons. You're getting a light, but that light might be the sensor that's on the back, the low level sensor as well. Yeah. And that one won't derate you. Well, I mean, that one will derate you actually. But it would have to be on to derate you. Does that make sense?
I got you.
It's not using.
So start.
Yeah, the low level would put you into limp mode, and that one could be causing you all your fucking problems. But you have a tune on that, and everything you're describing it is in limp mode, derate mode, whatever you want to call it.
I got you. The only other thing that I have on it, I did get one of those little diesel freak things that really don't do shit. So it's on there, but I don't know if that could have anything to do with it.
Absolutely. It could be derating it. Get it off there. Those things are fucking junk.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll take that shit off and maybe see if it.
It might. I tear that shit off of people's trucks all the time. Your fuel temp sensor is being fucked with, and that will derate it as well. And that diesel.
Yeah, that's what makes it have that little extra pep, yeah. Right?
And it's also messing with your intake air temp sensor, which is, don't ever fucking mess with that unless you don't like your engine very much at all.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll definitely take that shit off then.
Yeah, it'll probably.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate everything that you're doing, man.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
You too, buddy.
Bye. All right, for all the guys on hold, which there is a shit ton of you, we just came to the top of the first hour. We have a whole nother hour. We got 12 people on hold. I will continue to get to you here. I just need to recollect my brains. Shift in my seat. I'm so tired. Remember what I'm doing, and we'll get back after it. Hope you guys are all doing good tonight. I've had a really good past few days, other than not sleeping last night, stressing out too much, I think. But I just talked to the HHP boys. We think we've resolved, and we have to do this R&D on this truck to be able to release the cat kits that we have 240 of sitting in a freaking storage unit waiting to release them. Got to get this R&D over and done with. So in another week and a half, we should start releasing them. But it's taking us so long to get these cat kits out. I might be releasing Cummins in Detroit first because we're thinking another week and we'll have them. The prototypes are on their way, are going to be on their way by the end of this week, I think. So I should have them in my hands next week. Worst case, coming into the week after that. But man, we're so close. We're going to end up having them all at the same time, looks like. We thought we would go Cat, Cummins, and then Detroit. But it looks like it's going to be all of them at once. So found the clunk. The rear end was bad. Right on, man. Man, I'm following you and watching you. I can never get you to answer. If you're talking about our phones, our phone lines here at our shop, we don't have the best call center, but we have fixed all that. We've hired actual people to operate the phones. Also, one of our lines is going through Bennett Truck Center's call center because they have an awesome call center. So if you've called us in the past, had a hard time getting a hold of us, we just weren't equipped for the volume of calls that we get, but we have for the most part fixed all that. So you should have a lot easier time getting a hold of us, guys. So anyway, back to the callers here. Justin Reynolds, what can we do for you, brother?
Yeah, you got me there, Aaron?
Holy shit, yes.
Yep. All right. Hey, man, I got a 389 X15, and I'm kind of new to this whole world. I was just wondering, I'm burning about 4 to 6 quarts every, I'm going to say about 12,000 miles. And I was just wondering how standard that was across the board. I'm usually loaded. I'm not loaded heavy at all. I'm grossing around 50,000 on average. And I was just kind of wondering what your thoughts was on that.
Boy. So here's the rule of thumb that I give people. I've been given this rule of thumb for a long time, and it's a pretty accurate rule of thumb. Okay. If you're burning a gallon of oil in 10, 12,000 miles, you need to look really hard for leaks, of course, and this and that, make sure you're not leaking anything. But a gallon of oil is not really something to be hugely concerned about. I would recommend taking an oil sample. Okay. If you're burning 2 gallons of oil in 10,000, 12,000 miles and you're not leaking oil really bad, you most likely have a problem. Okay. You definitely need to take oil samples and see if you can see if there's anything going on. If you're burning more than 2 gallons, if you're burning 3 gallons of oil in 10, 12,000 miles, you probably should look at parking it until you can figure out what's going on with it.
Okay.
And,
And I'd also watched a couple of your other videos and seen where you'd said that your coolant and oil temp on these X15 is supposed to run 30 to 40 degrees of each other. Pulling the weight I'm pulling whenever I'm running some of these passes out in Idaho and Montana and stuff, I'm seeing about 241, 242 on my oil temp, holding pretty consistent. Is that average, being that the oil cooler starts doing its thing around 235?
So, oh shit, hang on one sec. About to lose TikTok. They only let you do live for so long, and then you have to prove you're still a human. Anyway, so we sell a oil thermostat for those that brings your oil and coolant within 15 to 20 degrees of each other. Because the Cummins notoriously runs incredibly high compared to the coolant. You know, it'd be up there at 240 degrees, 245, and your coolant's at 190 or 200 or something, you know. And so we sell a thermostat that replaces the stock thermostat. And man, we sell a lot of them. Holy shit, we sell a lot of them. But everybody loves them. But they, it's easy to install, and it cures that problem.
Okay. That's different. What you're selling is just a thermostat, and what PDI offers is a whole upgraded cooler aftermarket option, correct?
Yeah, PDI sells a dual oil cooler. And I'm not knocking their dual oil cooler. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's also like $4,000 and a couple $1,000 install, and the product that we have is like 400 something bucks, and it's a 30-minute to an hour install that you can do yourself, and it does a better job.
That's all. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. And one last thing, I'll let you get back to the next guys in line. I'm keeping it short and simple for you. If I wanted to, say down the road, regardless of how long it is from now, if I wanted to have you rebuild one of my motors, what is the best way for you to reach out to me, or for me to reach out to you? And if I'm not able to, if I'm on the other side of the country when something happens, Lord forbid, what would be the best kit for me to use, and what's some must-haves and some absolutely don'ts on X15 rebuilding?
Well, you get a hold of us by calling our shop. I mean, that should be pretty obvious. But so to answer that question, then if you're all the way across the country, I think the biggest fear, people come to our shop from all over the United States and Canada even, and the general consensus is people don't travel all the way across the United States to come to our shop because we're so fucking cool, right? That's not why they come. They drive all the way across the country because they're terrified to go to any other shop because they don't know how bad they're going to get fucked, right? And they just have this idea that if they come here, they're probably not going to get fucked. It's not that we're the cheapest shop in the United States. We're not. We're not the most inexpensive place to go. We're not the most expensive by any stretch. But what people know, or they think they know, and has been proven over and over, is that we're honest, right? We don't, you don't come in here and we build your engine. It's $50,000 more than we told you, and go fuck yourself if you want your truck back, right? So people are willing to drive all the way across the country. That's why people come here. So if you're willing to go somewhere else and run that risk, which is fine. I'm not saying there's no other good shops, right? I just don't know of any. I'm just kidding. But what parts should you use? I mean, it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Obviously, we're pretty proud of our parts line, right? Because we do all these things to enhance them and enhance their longevity and enhance the fuel mileage you're going to get and the horsepower you're going to get, and the longevity and all of those things. But I've even said tonight on the show, I tested everybody's stuff, and I mean, fucking everybody's. I had PDI's kits in here. Not that I wanted to buy one of their kits, but I had to so I could test it. AFA's kits. I had PAIs. I had IPDs, Interstate McBees, all the kits, right? And I was using the OEM Cummins, the OEM Cat to test these things against. And I'll say it again. Even the guys I don't like, all of them without exception outperform the OEM. So I'm not going to come on here and tell people buy this kit or buy that kit or buy my kit, right? I do things to make our kits better. And of course, we went out and found the best that we could of all of those products because we tested them all. Because, nobody had the best kit. That's something everybody needs to know. Nobody had the best kit. Some guys had better pistons. Some guys had better liners. Some guys had better rings for sure. Some guys had non-ductile rings, and and they're junk, really. And the guys that are doing all ductile rings are the ones you want. And so on and so forth. So nobody had the premium kit. So we were able to source from here, source from there, and I want to think and say that we have the best kit, but none of them are kits I wouldn't put in your truck and warranty. That makes sense. So with that in mind, and I have my own parts line, and I'm telling you unequivocally that if I put anybody else's kit on the market that you can name them, except for maybe OEM, I would put it in your truck and warranty it without a fucking problem. It's just the truth. So anyway, as far as what items you should do, the number one survivability items you can do to any ISX engine is a performance intake and a performance exhaust manifold, hands down. Those are the number one things you can do to that truck to increase the longevity, to decrease the chances of liners dropping, and just overall get a better performance and longevity out of the engine. 100%. The only thing you could do more is like put ceramic coated piston crowns in there. And they would work so well.
I heard everything. I heard everything except for the very first 5 words. What's the number one thing you said? I heard everything except for what the actual item was.
If I had to pick one thing I was going to do in my ISX to improve it, I would put a performance intake manifold on it. Then I would follow that by a performance exhaust manifold. 100%. Whether I have it deleted, whether I have it stock, it doesn't matter. Those would be the 2 items that I would do. And Full Tilt sells the intake, PDI sells the intake. Before too long, Hacknation will sell the intake. We're trying really hard to get one developed. But I use Full Tilts all the time. I've used quite a few PDIs too, but I prefer to use Full Tilts. And it's not because one's better than the other. I just prefer the company over the other company. That's all. I don't think you'd go wrong with either one of them.
This short and simple question. I'll let you get on the next caller. So I'm very familiar with the pickup diesel world, not so much the heavy duty class. I feel like there's a lot more support for the pickups, and that I'll give you a good example of that is like the fast fuel systems they make for the pickups. Is the stuff like that translate over to the heavy duty diesel motors, or no? Is that not relevant?
I mean, it's been a heated debate for 3 shows in a row. 3 weeks in a row, it's kind of been a little heated debate in the comment section because somebody's asked about them for 3 shows in a row. My opinion is no. And I have had fast systems on several of my trucks. I never saw any performance gains of any kind. None, right? Not even a little bit. And I don't believe that they do anything for you. You're not going to push fuel past your fuel pump harder than your fuel pump's going to pump it up to your injectors. It's not going to happen.
All right. Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking the call today. I'll let you get on the next, guys. I hope to be talking to you on down the road sometime.
Well, hopefully not. Most people that have to talk to me, because their engine's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
Have a good night. When are you coming out with those 15 HP Hacknation slaps? Assume you're talking about our C15 kits. We got to get our R&D done. We finished our R&D truck today. Nobody's willing to. So you guys have to understand how this works. Don't worry, callers. I'm coming right back to you. But as far as R&D goes, we try to R&D every single thing before we put it on the website or whatever else. We're just getting ready to start in a week. We're going to start putting manifolds on there. And we have R&D'd the shit out of the manifolds. We have so many of them out there running right now. Probably 50 of them. And it's been all great feedback. So awesome. We're going to start, we're going to put them on the website finally. But, certain kits, we've already been able to R&D. Some of them we are able to get dynoed by the people that make either the pistons or whatever else. The cat kits, we weren't able to get them into a dyno. So we're R&D'ing them ourselves. Now, we already know there's lots of R&D for the people that make our piston crowns and so on and so forth. But what hasn't been R&D'd on the C15 kits is the coatings. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go out and, make sure that we don't have issues with the coatings and this and that on the C15 kits in particular. We have R&D on Detroit and on Cummins. Actually on coatings that, and the coatings that I do here are the same coatings that go on all of this stuff. I'm not necessarily doing them. Obviously, I can't keep up. There's no way I could keep up with the volume. We have a place that, that it has contract with us to coat the stuff, but I tested all the coatings first and I'm dictating what they're using, right? It's not they're telling us what they're using. So we were able to R&D the Cummins and R&D the Detroits, but the Cat never got done. So that's why we may come out with Detroit and Cat in the next week and a half before the Detroit and Cummins, or rather before the Cat, even though the Cat's been done for like 3 months. So kind of a goofy deal, guys, but there's a lot of money invested, a lot of stuff tied up, and everybody wants to know that, we're not going to give people a product. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? After they run it for a week. So, it takes some time, but to answer your question, we're like a week to 2 weeks away and we'll have kits for everything. So anyway, back to the callers. Need to sell some Hack Nation merchandise. Yeah, I made quite a few. We have an awesome jacket that we make. Absolutely love our jackets. So cool. And this is the time of year too. And my wife's been telling me because so many people call and ask us for our jackets or our hats, that we should make some to give to people. But I made like 30 jackets and like 50 hats, and they're all going in the cat kits when we release the cat kits. So whatever. So there will be some merch out there, but I think, here in the near future, we're going to make some of our jackets available. We're pretty proud of them. They're super nice jackets. What brand of wheel seals do you favor or recommend? What the hell is the name of that wheel seal my kids use? I've been so impressed with that. I watched them do when they were, sharing this shop with us for the first 6 months while they were waiting to get into a big shop. They were using, I think it's Rev. Is it Rev? That wheel seal? What's the name of that wheel seal? It's orange. That wheel seal, I'd never used it before, but watching them use it, I was like, holy shit, and yeah, Rev Max, that's the name of them. That's the wheel seal to use. Holy shit. I wish that, maybe they were around, but I never heard of them back when I was doing it. I was using the Stemco wheel seals. I have all the Stemco tools for driving all the seals and everything, but those Rev Max, man, those are the shit for sure. That's it. Today, that's all I would use. If I was going to go back and run in trucks, for sure, I'd be using them. Cody, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
So I've got just a quick, simple question. So I bought a truck. It's got about 100,000 on a platinum overhaul done at Cat, and it's set for about 2.5 years. And today I noticed that it had a slight drip coming out of the front, what looks like the front O-ring on the oil cooler. Is that a common issue if they sit for time? I mean, do those O-rings get hard and break? I've got about 120 miles on it since I bought it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's an easy fix, by the way. You're talking about your leaking coolant?
Yes. Yep.
And the other thing is, if you're like a guy that's up in the Arctic, typically they'll only leak when it's cold. Start the truck and run it for a little bit.
I was about that. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, if you start it and
so
run
it's not terribly cold here right now.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is it will stop leaking if you start the truck, because it will warm up and that O-ring will expand, right? And you could technically keep driving it like that forever, but it's really fucking annoying, and it's only like a $3 O-ring, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to replace the O-ring. And is it on the back or the front?
It's on the front, and being as that's the Acer, do I have to take the turbo, at least one of the turbos off, to pull that oil cooler out to reseal the bastard?
No. You on the oil cooler there, you have a horn that plugs into the front. It attaches to the water pump and goes back to the oil cooler. It's only 2 bolts. You take the 2 bolts where it's plugged into the water pump, pop it off of there. It will pop out, replace the O-ring, force it back in there, put your gasket back between the water pump, put the 2 bolts back in, and go trucking. You certainly can do it by yourself.
Okay, easy enough.
Yeah, it really is.
Easy enough.
You need one O-ring and one gasket, and use the metal gasket for that water pump.
Okay, and then the other question I have for you is, while I've got that apart, that little like 2-inch long hose that's right above that on the water pump, can I replace that while that's off, or do I have to do a little more work for that?
You talking about the thermostat one? The water pump to thermostat?
Yeah.
That one's a bear.
Yeah, there's like that 2 inch.
That one is.
Yeah, I know. That's why
for all
I
intents.
didn't know if that would all come apart when I had that off or not.
No. For you to change that, you basically have to take the thermostat housing off. Now I have changed it more than once in my life without taking the thermostat housing off, but make sure none of your kids are around.
Exactly. There's a few choice words to be said.
For all intents and purposes, it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. I've done it. I've done it more than once, but it's practically impossible.
Yeah. Easy enough. Well, that explains that then.
Oh. But then again, in your thermostat housing's a one gasket deal too. You just pop it off and it's really not that big of a deal either. Just make sure everything's super fucking clean when you go back together. You'll be taking it apart again. That thermostat housing will leak.
That's the biggest thing that I was scared of. So.
Yep. All right, brother. Well, good luck, man.
Good luck. Easy enough. Thanks, sir. I appreciate your time.
Yep. Bye. Grizzly, you asking if the Rev Max seals work? Yeah, man, they work. I was very, very impressed with the Rev Max seal. Can a question be asked on old mechanical cats? Why can't they? We're pretty well known in this industry as one of the last places left that works on those old mechanical cats. So you're probably in the right spot to ask a mechanical cat question. Tyler, Series 60 Detroit. What can we do for you, brother?
Now listen, I called last week and I told you I hoped that you could rebuild a motor. I'd blow one up, and I probably shouldn't have said that though. That's a terrible thing to say. So I've got a Series 60 Detroit I'm in right now. I've got some blow by that I've never had before. For 3,000 miles, it doesn't look like it's burning any oil, but I can tell. I can't tell really on the 389 if it's right or not. I'm only building about 22 pounds of boost. If I was just gonna start out, just change the turbo out. I was looking on your website. What's the turbo you'd recommend for just a Series 60? One of your turbos that y'all are building.
Well, we only have one turbo for that, so it's pretty easy to pick it out.
Thought y'all had two. One was a K31, right? And then was another one?
Yeah. Do we have two? Yeah, I think you're right. I think we do have two. Honestly, the best thing to do, man, is because I don't know your DDEX series and all that and what your horsepower rating is. The best thing to do is just to call, either call here or call Highway and Heavy Parts. Either one works, and just tell them what your engine is and ask either us or them. When we have all the information, where we can look it up and say, okay, this is the one you need.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And
I appreciate it. I'll look on Highway Heavy Parts on that.
Yeah. And they're great. Give them a call. They'll definitely help you out. And I
know the little bit of research I've done. There's just not a lot of options for like really serious achievements. It's 12.7. There's just not a tremendous amount of turbos out there for it. So
yeah, we got one. I know the first batch of them I coded myself before they started going to the. I coded 50 freaking turbos before they started going to the industrial guys. Pretty funny, but
awesome.
You might get one I did myself.
And I sure appreciate your time.
All right, brother.
Dude, would you sign one if I buy one? You think you just sign it?
Yeah, right.
Throw it on there.
How funny. All right, brother. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you, buddy.
If you have any issues, give us a call, okay?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep, bye. And to be honest with you, he might have a hard time getting a turbo. I heard today that we had sold out of, for the second time, sold out of every turbo that we have. But I also heard that we're 2 days away from having them all restocked. So I know we're out of heads. We don't have any cylinder heads left. And I believe we're 2 days away from having those bags. So we sold out on all the heads. And we got a Cummins head coming out really soon, about a week. They'll probably sell out faster than the cat heads, really. What do we do with Max Force? Kind of like everybody else, man. We don't do anything with Max Force. There's not enough of them to justify research and development's the problem. I mean, quite honestly. Felix, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Aaron, good evening, man. How you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Hey, got a quick question here. I've got a 99 Kenworth T600. Guys wanting to sell me, and I'm wanting to buy it. But I went and took it on a test drive the other day. And I'm a cat guy. I don't know much about Detroit, but pulled the fill cap, and it's got some blow-by coming out of there, but not enough to, like, I wouldn't call it any pressure. But it's also coming out of the blow-by tube. Is this something I should be? I know it means a worn engine on any engine, right? But I don't know how much is too much on a Detroit. If it was a cat, I'd be scared of how much was coming out. But all the local guys I've talked to were like, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It's a Detroit thing."
So, here's the thing. How do I say this without having the entire comment section try and hang me? But here's what I think about that. Okay, then the 12.7 Detroit is notorious, absolutely notorious for going well over 1 million miles, and the damn things would do it long after they were blown up. They would just keep going and going and going, right? And that is where this idea comes from, that if a Detroit isn't putting all the oil on the ground, it's not running. Or if a Detroit isn't having massive blow by, it's not running right, right? But it's absolutely...
Yeah, so that's right.
But here's the thing, man. It's absolutely not true, okay? We rebuild Detroits around the clock. We have hundreds of them under our belt at this time. And if you came back here with a Detroit that I built, 6 months later and it's chugging blow by, I'm not going to look you in the face and tell you, oh, that's a fucking Detroit, because it's bullshit, right? It means that there's a problem. So you can't just tell yourself, oh, it's a Detroit. And here's the thing, guys, and I honestly believe this. The reason that your Detroits ended up with that reputation is because they're incredibly low horsepower. And the fact that they're incredibly low horsepower contributed to their longevity under adverse conditions of being half blown up and continuing to run. It's not because they're this greatest engine ever, right? It's because they didn't have the horsepower to tear themselves apart.
That makes sense.
That's my opinion. And do they deserve the praise that they get? Of course. If you can get 1.6 million out of an engine that uses 7 gallons of oil and no one can drive behind you, and you still got another 200,000 out of it, there's something to be said for that. But doesn't mean the engine isn't blown the fuck up.
What's the other thing I've heard is that rebuilding them is fairly cheap. Like I said, I know nothing about them. What's out the door cost of a Detroit on an in-frame kit?
On an in-frame kit? Oh man, right around.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. All the in-frame kits for your Cummins, your Detroits, and your Cats are all comparable, or they're all right around 3, anywhere from 28 to 34, all of them.
Okay.
Same thing with your cylinder heads, your oil cooler, your oil pump, water pump. There's obviously exceptions, like a N14 oil cooler is $200, right? Well, the Cat one's $800.
Yep.
And your Detroit one's pretty inexpensive, but you pay more for a Detroit dampener than you do for a Cat dampener. And so there's a trade-off there. in our shop, pretty much every engine costs the same. You know, if Cat's 17, 18,000, you're doing the exact same job on a Detroit, it's going to pretty much be the same damn thing. If you're doing a Cummins, whether it be a dual cam or a single cam, it's going to be the same damn thing.
That's interesting. I wonder why everyone has that mindset that Detroits are so much cheaper. Than I'm out of Washington State. Out the door for my 1LW, I paid around $24,000. I use OEM parts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, yeah, I know you can rebuild that for $13,000.
Because you said the key word there, OEM parts, right? So people are still stuck in this mentality that OEM is going to cost you, you know, using OEM as the metric, Cat's going to be the most expensive. You know, the old moniker, they paint them gold for a reason. Well, yeah, go to OEM and you find out they paint them gold for a reason, right? You know, but even Cat,
no.
You know, but even Cat, guys, it has come down so far in their prices, not in their internal engine prices, but like their accessories, like, you know, you got to get a bracket or a housing and stuff like that. They've come way down in their prices in the last 10 years, in my opinion. You can, you know,
okay.
And
hey, while I've got you on the phone.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was going to say, well, I've got you on the phone. You mentioned the dampener. So I've got an issue with actually that same 1LW. At idle, I can feel it vibrating. I can feel it in the cab and the seat. And when I put my hand on my steer tire, I can feel it vibrating pretty good as comparable to our other trucks. Mine seems to vibrate a hell of a lot stronger than everyone else's. And doing a little research, I read it could be motor mounts or dampeners. What is, I'm not familiar with replacement dampeners.
If it was, so a couple things really quick. At an idle, it's probably not the motor mounts, right? Because you don't have enough torque for it to move around on the motor mounts anyway. The motor mounts can be like basically gone, and it's not going to vibrate. Most likely not going to vibrate at an idle due to the motor mounts, right? Just the weight of the engine itself is going to hold it where it's at. The vibration dampener, I would probably throw that aside as well. If you have a vibration that bad that's due to the vibration dampener and you don't have a broken crank, you're going to, like, any minute. Dampeners don't fuck around, right? If you have a vibration that bad and it's due to the dampener, you probably already have a broken crank, right? So it's highly unlikely that's the problem, right? I'm not saying don't change your dampener. Don't let me ever tell you that. Dampeners don't get changed often enough as it is. But most likely what it is it's out of time. That is the most likely scenario.
Out of time?
Yep, it's out of time.
Okay.
And it's probably like, you know, if you bar it over and pin it on top dead center and take that peanut cover off and look where the cam arrow is, I'm betting it's probably advanced about a half a tooth, maybe even a little more. And that's what's making it vibrate like that.
And what causes that?
Bad installation.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, would it? So if it's a recent issue that just started, it wasn't doing it before. That probably would still be the cause. You think?
Probably. I would check.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. I'll have some
because the all. You know, I'm not saying it's not the other things, right? I'm just trying to do my best to put you in the right direction.
No, yeah, I appreciate that, sir. Been a fan of your channel for a long time. I've been, it was awesome talking to you, and I appreciate all the wisdom here.
I appreciate that, man. You have a good night.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Bye-bye.
Guy in the comment section says OEM or PAI kit. 100%. I would go with a PAI kit unequivocally. Some other guy said IPD for the win. IPD for what win? Oh man. I wouldn't buy IPD's kit if you paid me because I wouldn't want to deal with them if I had any kind of issue. But anyhow, but PAI, phenomenal company, phenomenal parts. Love PAI. Not that I haven't had my problems with every manufacturer out there along the way, but what's wrong with OEM? They charge you way more than anybody else. Their parts are all remanufactured. There's nothing new. And they charge you way more for used parts. Quite literally, they're used parts. So they're charging you twice as much for used parts. And OEM is the hardest people to get to stand behind their warranty. So fuck that. No, thank you. IPD broken rings and scored liners. You know, when guys say stuff like that, no, I'm not trying to get on you, Bruce. I'm just talking generalized, right? You're like, oh, IPD sucks. You know, I used them and I had broken rings and scored liners. Well, in the last 2 years, I will have done, what is it, 3, 4, 5, 628 engines, I think is what we'll be on track to do in the last 2 years. And probably 3/4 of those were done with PAI. And I'm not having broken rings and scored liners. So I have to think that probably there was some kind of an installation error of some kind. I think that's a safe assumption. Anyway, let's go back to the callers. Lane Garrett, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you? Lane.
Hey there, boss man. I've got a quick question. Why do you swap out the Chinese valves in the Chinese heads?
Well, this is going to be the second time we talked about this tonight because the Chinese valves are not Inconel valves. I'm not saying they're bad valves, right? But the Inconel valves are astronomically better, right? Unequivocally better. So it's just custom it is standard practice for every company out there before they sell the Jarrah head or any of its equivalents for that matter, that they'll change out at minimum the exhaust valves, the Inconel valves. And, you know, they'll consider it an upgrade, a stage 3 head, so to speak, to change the intake side as well, the Inconel valves. They're absolutely, I mean, there's no comparison between the quality and the strength and that between a regular valve and Inconel valve. So that's why everybody does it.
Can you give me an example of the difference? How the truck would run, how it would perform?
Oh, there's no difference in how it would run and perform. It's about how long it will last.
Oh, okay. So if I have an engine that's giving me a hard time and I, you know, running back and forth from diagnostics, if it's, you know, timing, if it's a valve problem, if it's a ECM problem or sensor problem, the problem wouldn't be in the Chinese valve acting up. It's just the longevity. That's why they change them.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure there's companies out there that don't change them and just sell the heads the way they are so they can make way more money, right? Because it's not cheap to change them all out to Inconel valves. There's a lot of them, and they're kind of an expensive little item.
But as far as operating and performance in a new head,
no difference.
No difference.
No, you wouldn't know the difference.
Okay. All right.
You know,
well, that's it. I had.
It's just like the coatings that we do on our heads. You'd never know the difference. The only way you know the difference is a million miles later.
Yeah, they last longer. Man, oh man.
Yep.
I bet that's a hard sales pitch. We want to see performance.
Yep, no, for sure.
You know, and longevity is performance. So, okay, take care.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You know, he is right. And so many people don't get that. Longevity is performance. Not having 800 horsepower. Longevity is performance. Inconel is used in the combustion fins in jet engines. That is also true. Man, we have so many callers. Guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to all you and go home on time. I'm so tired. Alex, you're on the air, brother. Well, God, I got to actually get you on the air first. Alex, you're on the air calling about turbo and manifolds. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. I have a 2001 6NZ. It's been turned up to about 550. when changing the turbo, like I know you have a stage 1 turbo, what manifold would you use with your stage 1 turbo?
I mean, we've been using our prototype manifold that we haven't released to the public. If you're asking me what I personally use, in fact, a guy saw me make a video of it, and then he bought a performance manifold for me, and I sent it to him, and he called me. He's like, "This isn't the turbo in your video, or the manifold in your video." It's like, yeah, no shit. It's not for sale yet. But we have them on about 40 trucks right now, and people are reporting anywhere from 100 to a 200 degree, you know, EGT drop. So there, we have a lot of positive feedback. The coatings are holding up. But anyway, so there, you basically, you don't have. I mean, you have like 4 options. There might be a couple more. You have PDI. You have full tilt. You have steed speed. And you have PAI. PAI by far is the best price point. They really are. Theirs is more like what we're doing. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They use a upgraded stock manifold that they polish and then they ceramic coat it. It's similar to what we're doing. I want that price point to be affordable for everybody. I don't want people to be broke down all the way across the country and they have to try and get a hold of us to get a special turbo to go on our damn manifold or anything like that. We're seeing good performance out of the manifolds that we're using, and the price point on them is going to be phenomenal. You're going to be able to buy 2 of our manifolds for the price of like a PDI one. So that's really where I'm trying to go with it. So currently right now, if I had to go out and buy a manifold, I'd probably buy a PAI because they got the best price point and they still do pretty much just as good of a job. So that's probably what I would get if I was, obviously I'd use my own manifold, but
Okay,
I'm not.
yeah, because
I
I don't need one.
Oh, we're gonna have manifold.
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
no,
have manifolds
I
in under
figured,
2 weeks.
okay, and then what type of gasket kit do you recommend? Are you guys gonna have something like that as well? 'Cause I see some guys talk about the sleeves, and some say use Cummins, some say use non-sleeve.
No, use the sleeves.
Okay.
Use the sleeves. They do not block airflow. You want to use the sleeves. Everything runs way cooler and works way better with the sleeves.
That's too easy. Yeah, that was it. I do appreciate your time, brother.
All right, brother. You have a good night, man, and good luck out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was planning on spending more time in the comment section, but people just keep calling. So let me look who the last caller is. Number 41. If you call after this, I'm not going to take your call, guys. I'm going to try to get through all these calls here. Number 41, you're the last caller. So I'm probably not going to get to be up in the comments section like I was hoping to be, but it is what it is. Somebody asked why Excalibur wasn't on here. He had an emergency come up with one of his customers. He was supposed to have the truck back to the customer, and they had some hydraulic lines break. And from what I understand, and he had to build a special bracket. And he's like, "Hey, Aaron, can I come on next week?" And well, we already have somebody scheduled for next week and the next week, so we're rescheduled him for like 3 weeks from now. He was really looking forward to this. We talked quite a few times, but we'll get him on here. I understand, man. Shit happens. The guy's loyalty to his customers, comes first, and I can't knock him for that. So, he's got a working man that was expecting to go to work, and now he can't, and that's more important than this show. I'm not going to knock him for that. Valid Eagle Transport, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Aaron?
Good, man.
Hey, got a question. I've been a cat whole life for over 25 years now, and I don't know if I got my old cat lock out. I ran the 6Z all my life for 20-something years with 0 oil changes. Ran Amsoil with the bypass filter, got a 1,950,000 miles before I ever opened that motor. And being done, sold that truck and bought a new glider with the 2 Whiskey Sam. And since 2019, that's already second 2 Whiskey Sam, and I have nothing but the problems. It's either head gaskets, either score liner, pistons falling apart, or piston jets. So 6 times been overhauled, and pretty much they replaced the motor last year. It ran for only 9 months and going empty. Well, I'm running Alaska all the time, back and forth. And with the 6 and Z I've had, I've always been under 80. So now we know how the haul road up in Alaska, but it's a few times, but mostly just up and down. And you know how it is up there. It's either 90 or higher. And I don't know, never got overheated, never got check codes, because you know how the warranties are. Because I try to stay with a warranty. The first thing, they'll pull your oil, they'll pull your codes and everything from the cat, and they'll tell you what the problem is. And if I screwed up, they'll just throw a towel, walk away from me. But apparently they've been standing behind a warranty. But I hate to get stuck again with the 40 below out there, and I don't know what else to say. Just
let me ask you a couple questions really quick. I mean, who's standing behind the warranty? Is this done by Cat?
By Cat, yeah.
And you're having all these problems with a Cat rebuilt engine?
2 Whiskey Sam, yeah. 2 Whiskey Sam. I had 6 and Z all the time, and like I said, I love it. I'm Cat all the way. Also commercial fisherman, running C18. Anything I have, it had a Cat. But like I said, got into 2 Whiskey Sam. Everybody was saying they were the best engines, and like I said, it was supposed to be. I understand, but like I said, I don't know where. Either my luck is out with Cats already, or Cats is using the bad parts.
Yeah, that 2WS and that 6NZ are the same engine. Just so you know, there's literally like nothing different about them. They're so interchangeably and intercompatible. It's insane, right? So it's not because it's a 2WS. Just based on your story, you had a new engine from Caterpillar when you started out, and now you went to a 2WS on a glider, and that 2WS is a reman engine. I guarantee that, right? And there's your difference. Their shit will not stay together anymore. And it's like, look how old that 2WS is. How many fucking times has every part that they're putting in it already been on another truck? 10 times?
I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, there's a reason you have to give them back everything when you rebuild it. Liners, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
They're reusing.
And they've been doing all these rebuilds. Right. They've been doing all these rebuilds, and I was just pushing. Believe it or not, it just happened last week, and just empty coming out of Salt Lake City, Utah, going up that hill. I had smoke coming out of the by, pushing oil, everything. I stopped, and probably within a minute, I had a state trooper under my tail. The guy comes up. I open the hood. He goes, "Oh, 3406 looks like a very fresh rebuilt truck," and blah blah blah. He's like, "You're not watching the hacknation by him." What shit can I do? It's like, I can tell because everything you have there look like a hacknation truck. I was like, "Well, I haven't got to them yet," but he's like, "I'm just about to do it." He's like, I'm just about to pull the plug on the Cat warranty and all that stuff, which feels good, no doubt about it. But I'm just scared to really get stuck somewhere with the way I'm running, and I'm not that stupid. Been running for 26 years and had nothing but the luck. The whole family's a Cat family, but here we go. One bad lemon in my box. I don't know what to do already. I was actually asking if I can buy a motor to you guys from them, if they can buy it, but they declined it.
Yeah. This might be quite a surprise to a lot of people, but we had a deal with Case when we were in North Dakota, and they were having us build their John Deere engines for them because they don't rebuild them. And Cat should do something like that with me. but they wouldn't like me because I wouldn't use their parts in them.
Yeah, that's the thing they said that quite a few guys actually cat raps. They're watching you too. They know what's up. They're like, yeah, I wish we can deal with that guy out of Texas, because the first thing I brought up, do you think you can finally 6-time? Maybe Kip can step up and help me out with this and throw maybe new content engine or buy out of hacknation and put it in there. They're like, yeah, it just has to go through a cat and all that. Just like, I wish. They're like, we know that guy. I wish we can deal with him direct and buy motors from them and sell you guys, but they can't do it for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course they can. It's corporate, man. But anyhow, well, if you ever change your mind,
Do you think?
want to give somebody else a crack at it, give us a call, man. I pretty much guarantee you
I
get more life than
honestly,
that out of it.
but you don't think if I try to get them to get to 6 and Z anything, that wouldn't change anything?
No.
That you said 3406 and my 2 Whiskey 7 will be the same?
The same engine. Everything.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I really appreciate your call. I guess I'm from the same neck of the woods. Where are you from? So, yeah, I saw your time you said you were doing a commercial fishing and all that, that's what we have too.
Yeah. What do you fish for?
So,
I was going to ask you.
Bristol Bay salmon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, out of where?
Yeah, out of Bristol Bay from Homer. I'm taking off from Homer, but I storage my boat up there in Naknak. So
okay.
Yeah, built my new boat with the 12.9, but that was under the power, so I ended up with the C18 repowered, brand new out of the box, and that thing is flying now.
You know where Graveyard Point is out of Naknek there?
Yes.
Yeah, I fished off Graveyard Point for a season.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. I saw your show. You were talking about that. You came from a big family, and I came from a family of 10. 6 brothers and 4 sisters, and everybody's truck drivers. And I'm only the one, the commercial fisherman.
Yeah, I think all my brothers at some point did some kind of commercial fishing, but they're all truckers. Anyway, that's really cool, man.
Yeah. Yep. I appreciate your time, sir.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I said before that anybody past number 41 caller, I wasn't going to take him. So rather than just leave you on hold, I'm going to drop your call, not to be an ass, but there's still 9 people on hold, and we are already at the end of the show. I'm going to try to hang in there, guys, and take all these calls. That was cool. That's cool. Small world, right? Small world. Graveyard Point out in Naknek, Alaska. Talk about a grizzly bear freaking zoo. Everywhere you turn, there's a grizzly bear the size of a freaking bus. Freaking brown bears. Ariel Diaz, you're on the air, man. What can we do for you? Hello.
Hello?
No, man, I just about dropped you there. What can we do for you?
Yeah. I have a N14, and I recently did a in-frame in it back in March. And when we were done, we were setting the overhead. And on the Cummins, you gotta do valves and injector same time. When we were on the third injector, the engine will lock up. So we will have to start over, and we couldn't do the adjustment from the book. We had to do valves, and then after we did another to, let's say, B, we did the injector for that previous cylinder.
Have you started it yet?
No, I've been running the engine after March, so I gotta do the overhead again after the in-frame. So I didn't want to go back to the, having the same headache to see what was going on. If you had any idea.
The only thing that makes sense is that it's out of time. But if you've been running it, it's probably, it's obviously not, right?
Yeah, like previously it was running fine, and right now it's running fine. I've done almost 70K on it after the end frame.
Yeah, I don't have a solid answer for what you're saying there. I mean, usually when you're running into that problem, it's because it's out of time. But I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't you wouldn't be driving, you wouldn't have 70,000 miles on it at a time. So I mean, I wouldn't worry about it.
So just do the overhead how we did it the first time.
I mean, I guess it worked the first time.
Yeah, it's like because the people that did my end frame, he's an old timer. He's like around 70, and he's been doing cats, Series 60s, and M14s for a long time. So when he got into this one, it drove him crazy for that reason. Because it was the first time that he ever ran into that issue.
Right. So it begs that it's out of time, right? That's why that happens.
Yeah.
And but but your story doesn't line up that it could be out of time because you're running it. So I don't have a good answer for you, man. I have no clue.
Yes, something that will make your head go spinning after, because it's running fine, but then when you do the overhead, if you do it how the book says it, after you get to the third
I understand.
valve.
I understand what you're saying. But I don't have an answer for why that would be.
So I wanted to get another. Oh, okay.
And yes, he says it runs.
Yeah,
great.
something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I having zero oil consumption after the in-frame, so it's running good. I just gotta do the overhead again because I did new heads and everything else.
I wouldn't worry about it.
So just keep running it like how we did it the first time.
Yeah. Leave it alone, driver.
And also one more question. I also want to upgrade my turbo, my stock turbo. Do you guys carry turbos for the N14?
Yes, we don't have them on the site yet. We have
Not yet.
we have well, we're not on the site, but if you call our shop, yeah, we have them. They'll be on the site soon. They'll be they'll be on the site in like a week, but if you need one immediately, we have them.
Oh, that sounds good. No, I'm not in too much of a hurry. So I just want like a little upgrade turbo. I don't know if you're gonna have the factory turbo or something that will perform a little bit better than the factory OEM.
We're going to have, because there really isn't an option, a whole lot of options out there. We're going to have the highest horsepower stock one that you can have, and it's going to be coated.
Okay. All right. And what about the manifolds? Will you be making manifolds for these engines?
In 3 days.
Okay. So I'll be in the lookout on the website for when you drop them.
If you don't see them on the website, it just means they're in R&D, but we have them. Just give us a call.
Okay, perfect.
All right, brother.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Oh. 41. 8 calls left. Oh man, I want to go home, guys. All right, Frank, oil temperature, you're on the air. Hit me with it, brother.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Good. What can I do for you?
Hey, listen, I got a question. Would you still recommend? I know it's your product, you sell it. Would you still recommend that thermostat for the oil on the ISX 15 for people in the northern part of the country, Midwest northern part, where they don't really haul heavy stuff? Oil temperature is usually at 210, 220 cruising. What benefit would I get
if I switch over to something like your product to keep a lower temperature. And the reason I ask is because I Googled ChatGPT, and it says that the reason why Cummings has it at high temperatures to burn off the moisture. How does this mod affect moisture in the oil? Shoot it.
I don't think you're burning moisture off at 240 degrees.
No?
I don't think so. Versus 210 degrees. I don't think that's correct, by the way. Cummins wants their engine to run hot for carbon reasons and stuff like that, right? I know that all diesel manufacturers want the engine to be running as hot as possible without damaging the engine. That is the most optimal thing, right? As far as being in northern states and running our oil bypass thermostat. Now, the thermostat is going to open on your Cummins. That thermostat exists mainly to, so let me give you an example. Your Caterpillar has a bypass as well, that doesn't open until the coolant is up to a certain temperature, and then it sends it through the oil cooler to start cooling it off. And that is for the northern regions. Yeah. So sure, you're going to have, let's say it's 30 below and you start up your Cummins.
Yeah.
Your oil isn't going to warm up as quickly as if you didn't have that thermostat. Is that going to harm anything? Hard to tell. Hard to tell. No. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, no, you'll be fine, so you'll buy something from me, right? That's a good question. It's a question that we've asked ourselves many times. But here's my thought on that. If a guy is not getting his truck up to operating temperature as quick as possible anyway, by putting it under light load and actually driving it, I think he's doing himself a disservice anyway. And if he's doing what he should be doing and concentrating on getting that truck up to operating temperature as quick as possible, that 30-second to 1 minute difference from having that thermostat in there isn't going to matter. Now, if you're the type of guy that starts your truck up in 30 below and lets it run for 45 minutes so he can get into a nice warm heater, it's probably not the product for you, but you're already doing your engine grave disservices anyway.
Now, I thought I saw a video of you talking about that you were testing it and, doing oil analysis. Did anything come out in there like, oh, there's more moisture in it or something?
No. What we have, so the gentleman that invented these, he tested them extensively, right? And then all of his friends started using them and all their friends started using them. And then he partnered with us and we have sold hundreds of them, quite literally hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And people give us feedback,
for sure.
Right? So we have piles and piles of feedback on them and everybody is absolutely in love with it. But I feel really good about the product that we have and about all the feedback that we get. But that's as far as the testing's gone. But there's no better there's no better testing than the end user, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly how we tested all of our manifolds. We offered them to everyone in here for, for pennies on the dollar, just so people would try them out. And we had once I had about 50 of them running on the road and all kinds of people giving me all kinds of awesome feedback. There you go. What better testing can you do? 6 months of have shit ran $50 for 2 days and run the shit out of them, and that's not nearly as effective of a guy running them for 4 or 5 months, out on his pulling his cattle pod around trying to show off to all his buddies. That's a way better testing ground, and that's how a lot of these products have been tested: our turbos, our manifolds, and stuff like that.
On that same subject, on these bypass filters that you see them being advertised, I don't know if you're selling any of them on your website, but
no. But
I have a question about that.
I can kind of answer your question. I'm going to start we sell engines and we sell a lot of them, and we're going to start selling 10 times more than we were before because we're focusing our energy on producing end user engines. Part of our warranty is going to require you to install a oil bypass system that we're going to provide.
Ooh, okay. Because my question was, so it's plugged up to an oil galley. There's pressure.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bypass. Is there a significant drop in oil pressure
Nope.
by doing that in
None.
the system, or
None?
None?
None.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time.
Have a good night, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
If you guys were paying attention, that guy that called just a minute ago and we were kind of bantering back and forth about our adventures in Alaska, if you heard the first thing he said, I had a 6NZ first and I ran 1,000,000 miles running AMSOIL and a bypass filter and never changed my oil. Did you hear him say that? In other words, he went 1,000,000 miles on the same oil, is what he was saying. That's your oil bypass filter. Come on with it. N14 injectors. You're on the air.
Thank you. My name's Brandon.
All right, man. Sounds good.
It's the first time I called. I wasn't sure of the procedure. I have an N14 460 1650 torque. I pull heavy up in Canada. And last week developed an injector issue. It was an internal broken spring that was allowing cylinder pressure to push up into the injector when your foot was off the throttle, and then it would miss when I would come back on the throttle for a few seconds until the fuel started flowing there again. Anyhow, this engine that I have was a used engine I put in after my previous one died. And so I didn't have a lot of history. I didn't know how many miles were on the injector, so I decided to do all 6. Ordered them, put them all in, set up the valves, and now I have quite a bit of smoke. When I roll onto the throttle, I've got smoke. And when I come onto the Jake, after I've been polling, I have smoke.
You have become a victim of the notorious N14 injectors. And unfortunately,
I was afraid of that,
unfortunately, my friend, once you have to start changing injectors on N14s, it kind of tends to be a never-ending battle. And that is just because there are no N14 injectors on the market that haven't been remanned 500,000 times, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Figure out which
I should have kept my original set and just looked for the one that was bad.
Yeah, 100%. You should have. That's what I would have done for a fact. But at this point, you just need to figure out which one's bad, or maybe 2. Replace that and grate your teeth and hope that you don't end up with another one. And that's literally.
Well, I had one DOA, and I got that warranty today, and I bought an extra one, and that's, if I have to, I'll go through one hole at a time, change one every day.
Well, I mean, you just unplug your clips on the side. No, unplug your clips on the side.
They're not missing, though. The problem is it's not missing.
No, I understand, but you should.
I did that today, and they all drop. I don't have a computer like where I can see if one drops more than the other.
Yep.
But they all make a noticeable difference. I mean, that's how I found the dead one out of the 6 new ones or remand ones I put in. The one was dead, and that's what I found, just unplugging one at a time until I found the one that didn't change anything.
Yeah, if I could find a partner to make brand new N14 injectors, I'd be rich. And Cat has the same problem. Cat injectors are the same deal. They're not as bad as N14 because they're just a way more robust and better injector in general. But your Cat injectors these days, you put in new 6 ones, I can't guarantee you not one of them's not going to be bad. It's that bad, and I am able to, we are almost ready to release a brand new injector for the first time in the history of cat injectors. I'm so close, but I don't even have, and I've looked pretty hard into trying to figure out how to do this, replicate that with N14 injectors, because they're just notoriously pieces of shit, but there's just no options out there for it, unfortunately.
Alrighty, so I just have to keep fiddling with it until I find the bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably better off taking it somewhere and having them find it. You probably save yourself some heartache and money, really, in the long run. You know, how much does people?
Well, and what I'm worried about, putting a hole in a piston.
Yeah.
Like the smoke mostly clears up under power.
Yeah,
you know,
but
if you aim your spot mirror at the stack and watch it, you can see it puff a little bit. But
that usually means that the other ones are just running, you know, your engine's running efficiently enough at that point that it just seems like it goes away. The problem's still there.
So I'm essentially burning it off in my manifold then.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. I do have a pyro, and I'm not pushing high temps at all.
No.
800 degrees max, but
yeah, I mean, and you won't necessarily, but you have a bad injector. I mean, guaranteed, and it's because you had to replace them, and now you're stuck where everybody else is at. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to find any place here, you know, within a 10-hour drive of me that still tests N14 injectors.
Yep. So we
like I can order reman ones, but
when we rebuild engines here, probably the least purchased item here at this shop is injectors, because we talk people out of them all the time. Because people just like default it. Well, if I'm getting a rebuild, let's throw 6 injectors in it, you know, and especially if it's an N14 or a cat, we'll be like, well, you know, let's do a cutout test first. And if they all come back good, let's just put your old ones back in. It's probably better.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself because the engine that died on me, it had all good injectors. I gave them back as cores.
Yep. Oh,
so,
yeah.
I'm kicking myself.
All right, man. Well, good luck with that one. I got 6 more calls to get to before I can go home, so I better run down them.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Anyway, Sean, you're on the air, brother. What can I do for you?
Hello, man. How are you?
Good, man. Rear main seal problem. What's going on?
I got a main rear seal done like about 5 months ago, okay, on a Cummins X15, and now it's like leaking again, and I was told the rubber goes bad. Do they often go bad on these? Or it's like just the work that they put on and do it properly?
No, the rubber doesn't go bad.
That's what they're saying, and it was never leaking before. Like, it was good. I had the computer go off. It's an automatic transmission, and I had everything replaced, like bearing, clutch, everything in the computer, and was suggested to replace it, and it just went bad after 5 months.
Yeah,
saying the rubber, and this is original.
It's probably been bad for longer than that. It was installed incorrectly. It's probably been.
You don't think it was installed incorrectly?
I do think it was installed incorrectly from the very beginning, and it's probably been leaking on you for a long time.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're saying there's like a dummy-proof like tools with it that comes, and it should not be installed incorrectly.
Something I can tell you for a fact is there is no part that can go on an engine that is mechanic-proof. Ask me how I know.
Yeah. So they're saying, no, we won't warranty it for you, and the training has to go down again. So,
right.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that portion of it, right?
Yeah, so it's not the part, right? Like, it's Cummins OEM part.
Right. So I'll give you an example. You know, I just made a shop update video, 2 days ago? And
yes,
we're all done with. We basically cleaned our shop out, and so I pulled in anything that was a warranty, and we're doing them all at once. You know, and some, you got a lot of warranties in there. Well, yeah, we're doing them all at once, right? Well, one of them, the rear main seal's leaking and the front main seal's leaking, right? And we're redoing them both. They're leaking. We rebuilt,
Yeah.
we did a complete major out of frame overhaul, and they're leaking. There's no excuse. We're fucking putting in new main seals and
only,
sending
like,
them on his way, right? So when guys are installing those main seals in the truck, the propensity for them to fuck them up, and this includes my shop, goes up through the roof, right? The odds. So let me put it to you this way: when I have a main seal that fail on an out of frame, I usually start a warranty process with the parts manufacturer. And doesn't mean I always press
Yeah.
it, but I start the warranty process and then I get in there and I see what's going on and this and that. And that's the only time that I will ever try to claim a warranty or even see if I'm going to go that route. And, you know, half the time I don't, but is if we did it out of frame, because I know that it's really hard to fuck them up out of frame. But if we have, let's say that we had pulled your transmission out and we did a rear main seal while we were back there and put it all back together and it started leaking, I don't even start a warranty process, because the odds of it being an installation error through the fucking roof, because you're cramped up in there and you're trying to put this main seal in there and everything's dirty and it's just a fucking shit show. The odds of you messing it up are incredibly high. They're so much higher than the seal going bad and, you know, because the rubber goes bad. I mean, come on. No, they fucked it up. End of story. What else can I do for you, brother?
So it's not like there's no special tool for it, right, or anything like that to put it in. It's like dummy proof. They're saying, like,
It's not dummy proof.
you said, like, you cannot mess it up. That's,
yeah. But they did. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They did.
like, the thing is, I had my computer go out, the MTM,
I
the
understand why.
electronic, whatever they call it.
I understand why they were in there, and they didn't steer you wrong by saying, let's go ahead and do the rear main seal. I don't think that.
Yeah, I did everything, clutch,
right,
everything.
I'm not saying
the bearing.
And you know, for some guys, that's the route to go. I'm not knocking your decisions or their decisions.
Yeah,
or
I didn't
that.
cheap out either. Like, I did everything.
Okay,
I did everything, you know, to play it safe, you know.
But they fucked it up when they were installing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But they're saying it's the part, so so
they should still warranty.
I think I'm just gonna have it. So you could warranty the parts, but the labor they won't warranty. I gotta eat the labor for transmission
the
to
part
go down.
The part's $45 fucking dollars.
The part is cheap. Well, if we live in Canada, it's $200. But
as a mechanic,
it's not a big deal.
So as a mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with the end user, so the owner operator, whatever it might be. How do I separate my liability from the part? How do I put that part back on the end user? I would like someone to explain that to me. Right? That doesn't make sense, right? So we had a parts failure, so now you got to go fuck yourself. Right? Who did you buy the part from?
The part is Cummins. It's from Peterbilt. We don't got a dealer. That's Kenworth.
Did you pay Cummins for it, or did you pay the shop?
No, they got the parts and everything.
So you paid the shop.
Yeah, I paid the shop
So
the
how
money.
do they separate themselves from the part and say now because the part failed, it's your fault somehow? I own a shop, guys. I own a shop, and I'm asking this fucking question, right? So how do you do that? How do you look at yourself in the mirror and reason it out with yourself, right? It's fucking bullshit. That's what it is. You know, it's fucking bullshit. They need to quit being pieces of shit and throw a new rear main seal in it and get you.
Like, I can give you a discount price and charge you for like half of the labor on it, and that's what he's trying to do, and probably just trying to get more money, you know. But I don't think I'm gonna do it again at the same shop.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just ranting a little bit, but I still got more callers. And
like, how long is that job? Usually, you guys do it for.
Depends on the truck and this and that, man. It sucks. It sucks. It's a shitty job, especially with an automatic transmission.
It's a big job. The training has to be down. So
it's a big job.
You know?
That's why they're doing whatever they can to avoid it. But Anyway, man, better luck on the
So,
better luck in the future, man.
keep it like that, man. Take care.
Have a good
I
night.
appreciate it, man. Thank you. You too.
Fucking Canadian shops. Swear they're worse than here. Swear they are. I hear more horror stories from Canadian shops than anywhere. I swear to God. Willard, fuel issues. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. I got a 2WS Caterpillar that is I think I got like a fuel stutter. Is what it's doing. I'll under a heavy load.
What
Up there about
what
1700 RPMs.
What engine?
2WS Caterpillar 3406E.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just under a heavy load. I'll get a fuel stutter. I'll drop about 5 pounds of boost. It does it for a couple seconds, and then it kicks right back up, goes back to pulling. And I don't really know where to start with it. I've checked for boost leaks. I've checked fuel pressure.
Let me give you some.
And past that is really just beyond my knowledge.
Yeah, let me give you some pointers here, and then I'm gonna get on to the next caller because I got to get home. First place I would start, honestly, because just specifically the problem you're describing, right? It's an intermittent problem. I would start with your return line and supply line check valves, change those really quick, and see if your problems just magically go away. There's a high possibility that they will, especially if you've done any work to the engine recently. Then from there, you need to go get an injector cutout test done. I would do the check valves first because you can do them yourself. Don't have to pay anybody, blah, blah, blah. They're not expensive. Change them out. If there's a good chance that'll cure your problem. If it doesn't, go get a cutout test done. And then if you've eliminated those two things, call me next week. We'll figure it out.
Okay. And then just one other quick thing, just because I've researched it but can't find anything about it. What would be symptoms of high fuel pressure on a Caterpillar?
None.
Okay. Well, that's everything I need to know.
All right, brother.
I appreciate it.
Yep. I mean, I've had fuel pressures pretty fucking high on a cat and never had any negative connotations from it. All right. Dan Altman, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Well, I'm trying to make this fast. I'm just a dumb farm kid. Got a new Pete. We just got an old new Pete, 1993, 3406C, and I'm new to cat, so I'm stating my ignorance here. I've never really been around them, especially a mechanical cat. Just kind of looking for some pointers on things. We just got the truck. I actually just finished harvest today with it, and the truck seems to pull fine. Maybe it's just the way these sound, but it kind of sounds like to me there's a cylinder or two, probably a cylinder that's not hitting as hard as the rest. And I kind of think when I got this truck, it'd been sitting a little while. But it seems to pull just fine. I have no idea what horsepower this truck is or nothing like that yet. Only thing I've done to it is the exhaust manifold and studs because, manifolds are busted and stuff. But what would be things to look for on just testing to make sure the thing's running on all six correctly? And like, I'm sure it probably needs overhead. Who knows the last time that's been done on it? Maybe that's just how these sound, but I was just looking for some pointers on what would be some steps to go through just to ensure the thing's running halfway decent and would be good to go.
The only way that those mechanical cats really sound different than a regular cat, they still purr, they still hum right along, right? They don't have a peculiar lope or peeing or anything like that. So if you think there's something weird going on, there probably is. The only way that they really sound different is they have like a more of a low rumble to them, and that's pretty much it. If you have one running right beside a electronic cat, the electronic cats just seem to have more of a perk to them, but that's just about it. As far as being in sync with itself, they still sound great, right? So,
Right.
what kind of boost pressures are you seeing?
Well, the truck don't have a boost gauge. I've got no clue. I don't know. I've replaced a couple of those boots up top there, and I haven't checked anything else since that. So no clue there. The turbo, I had it off, and it definitely needs either rebuilt or replaced. It's got a little bit of play, but it was good enough to get me through harvest. So.
Yeah. It's really funny. People will always talk about the B model. When they do, they'll liken it to the easiest engine to work on, and yeah, you should get a B model, and because anyone can work on those. And it's actually the exact opposite. They're a fucking bear, man, and they're really hard to diagnose as well.
Right.
But neither here nor there. It's hard to tell from here if you're having a problem. Usually, if you're having like a runability issue with any of those mechanical cats, you have a lot more going on there. You got lots of push rods, you got lots of tappets, lifters. You have valve bridges that adjust, and you have rocker arms that adjust, and there's just so much there that could be out of adjustment, or something bent, or
right.
There's just so much more going on in there that it's really hard from here, just by what you're describing, to kind of help you out. If you were having because you're not having a runability issue, right? So I'm kind of loath to be like, look at this for the fuel and look at this for the air, because I don't think you're having any of those kind of problems. But that thing has a lower camshaft. Guys never ever do anything with them because they're hard to get to. The engine could get rebuilt, and then nobody will ever touch that camshaft. That camshaft could have a lobe that's all fucked up, and it's making one of those pistons run like shit. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. The thing doesn't really seem to have any blow by at all, and it doesn't make any weird smoke. So I hate to just blame, just the easiest thing, blame an injector. But I'm thinking it's probably worth the effort to find somebody in my area here that's familiar with them and can check all that valve train and stuff up top there for adjustment, I guess. Right.
Yeah. Make sure you find somebody that knows what they're doing with them, though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get it somewhere just to get it checked out. I mean, it's worth your time rather than having something that's blowed up,
Right. Yep.
But sorry I couldn't be more help, man. But good luck with that thing.
Okie doke.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Yep. You too.
It's probably like, I was on hold for how fucking long? Guy didn't tell me at all. All right, 3 left to go. You're on the air. What can we do for you, man? Let's try to keep it short, please.
I'll get as short as I can get. Switching to 16-to-1 compression on an ACERT and getting the new stage 3 head from Heavy Highway with the the valves.
Mm-hmm.
What is the optimum liner protrusion for that going with that setup, and is the valve setting the same as it was on 18-to-1?
Yep. 6 and yes.
6 and yes. Okay, I will let you go. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night, man. Good luck.
Yep, thank you. You too.
Bye. Oh, why can't they all be like that? I'd already be at home in bed. Marshall, you're on the air, man. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, just a couple questions. I'll try to make them quick. The 855 Big Cam is, I believe, what it is. It came out of a 79 cab over Kenworth, but they shoved it in an 88 Peterbilt and took my 3406B out of it. And I want to go back to the 3406B, but they left it out in the field since 08. So it's been out in the field for a long time. So for the meantime, I wanted to see if I could just get the Cummins to run just so I could run the truck around. and I was just kind of wondering if you had any information on the variable timing that the Cummins had on the injection system in those years.
Oh, so you have like a 444 with step timing?
I think so. Yeah.
Such a terrible engine, man.
Yeah, I don't know what possessed them to rip out a Caterpillar. They said the Caterpillar dropped valve in cylinder number 5. So they yanked it out and shoved that thing in there and said they could never get the truck to go over 25 miles an hour, 15 if it was loaded with a end dump on it.
Yeah, they fucked something up.
So I was just kind of looking for your advice on which way to go. I have the 3406B, but like I said, it's sat in the field since 08, and
the crank's probably
I'm missing 2 fuel lines.
The crank is probably
the crank's
ruined.
probably messed.
It's probably ruined. Something that we've found from buying a lot of engines over the years, over the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Is that if an engine sits in one spot for a year, I'm not talking like 10 years, like a year, it will collect moisture into the crank, and then it would delaminates as it just sits there. And pretty much 100% of the time, the cranks are no good, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that Cummins that's in the truck has been sitting longer than
so
I think the last registration on the truck was.
Here's my question, man. Why are you fucking with all this stuff? Why are you purposely getting into a disaster? Have we asked ourselves that yet?
I guess I have a. No, I just like the truck. I've been around the truck since I was a little kid.
Sure.
So I guess I have an emotional attachment to the truck.
Well, I mean,
and I'm not doing like owner-operator stuff with it.
Here's the thing. If you have the money to put into the B model, I would probably mess with the B model, because that 444 with the step timing is a fucking giant turd, and it's going to give you grief forever, and it's already not running right.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, I don't know. You're going to have to put some money into that B model, I'd be guessing, probably an out of frame kit and a crank at minimum.
Do you have a Teflon coated kit for that engine?
Of course. I got steel crowns for it too. And I have steel. If you have the aluminum spacer plate, I got steel spacer plate, everything. Push rods. Tappets. There's not a single.
Yeah, it has the aluminum.
Yeah, I have the upgraded steel one. There's not a single thing for that B model. You can't name something on that B model that I don't have.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. And then one more thing, the engine serial number on it, I can't find it. The tag from Cat, the little sticker that sits on the side of it, has been painted over.
Yeah, you go to the passenger side. Go to the passenger side all the way in the back. And then you come down from the cylinder head about 1.5 hands width down the back, and you'll see it. It's embedded into the block. It might be under paint or something, but it's there. 100% it's there.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Sounds good. I'll get it all cleaned and looked, and then when I get ready to order parts, you're the guy I'll call.
Sure. Give us a call, man. Good luck.
So, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Yep, bye. All right, somebody dropped out of the race. We got one left now. Woo! Black Zach. You are on the phone, man.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Not much. What can I do for you, brother?
I gotta know, man, because I was the guy in the comments talking about IPD for the win. He's like, oh, well, for what win?
Yeah. Sure.
Man, wait, I gotta know what's wrong with IPD. So what would make you? And I'm a driver.
No, I love IPD. I messed up. I thought you were saying PDI.
Oh,
I use IPD stuff all the time. In fact, I have a kit here right now. I have 3 of their kits here right now. And they have a joint venture with MaxiForce, who I have a joint venture with, so I by default have to love them, right? So
okay, all right. I was just making sure. I was like, damn. I was like, what? Also, one thing too, and this is just for curiosity, man. I'm gonna let you go now. I know you wore out. You ready to hit the house? But damn, I heard you. The 2WS and the 6NZ is exactly both the same engine. Well, I get that they're both, like 70 pin, ECM engines. But doesn't the 2WS have a little bit stronger of a block than the 6NZ?
No.
Just curiosity.
No.
They're both the exact same.
All of it's interchangeable.
No shit.
Cams.
I'll be good to hell. Well,
pistons, injectors, every single thing. Your front gear, your front gear is different. That's pretty much it. But they're the same thing.
Hell yeah. Well, Mr. Hackman, appreciate your time. Get home, get laid back, relax, holler at me, man. Appreciate you. Be cool.
Yep. Have a good night, man. Love you long time.
All right. Love you too, man.
Aw. What a fucking sweetheart. Anyone have a Jake housing for a B model? I got lots, but you can't have them. Yeah, and I really wanted to hang out in the comment section tonight and just do that, but it just didn't work out for me. What does it cost for a 92 N14? We have 3 of those going to be here Friday to build for sale. You have to give us a call, though. How do I get a hold of you to get a set? You can go on our Facebook, our very first post. We have our number pinned up. We share our number a lot, but that's the easiest way to find it. I don't know our number by heart, ironically. I know the number to the show, 573-422-4225, but that's because I say it all the time. I'm probably the worst guy in the world to do this show because my memory is so terrible. Like, you tell me your name and 15 minutes later and I'm introducing you to somebody else. I'm like, and then what was your name again? Yeah, but where I can't remember. I don't remember my old lady's number. It's in my phone. I don't have to remember it, right? But she's had the same number since I met her 18 years ago. I still don't know her number. It's hilarious, but it's a wonder I can remember anything on the help anybody out on this show. But a lot of easy questions tonight. Holy cow. A lot of easy ones. That was pretty fun. And a couple, a little bit of hard ones I had some good help from the comment section, like always. So, is it Hack Nation on Facebook? Yes, sir. It's Hack Nation. There's a lot of copycats out there. The copycats don't bother me. I know a lot of people get all up in arms. Oh, I got like 10 people reposted my videos. So what? All they're doing is giving you free advertisement, right? That don't bother me, but I'm Hack Nation on all platforms, and I'm verified on all platforms. So I'm going to have the blue check mark on all platforms. So I'm pretty easy to find. Is it time for a beer? Not for me. I gave up drinking about a year before we left North Dakota. Pretty much alcohol free. Now I will drink. I'm not against it. Pretty much reserve it for if we're out at a restaurant or something. You thought Tim was supposed to be on tonight? Yeah, man. Tim was supposed to be on tonight, and all the way to the last second. And my media guy got a hold of him. He's like, "Hey, man, you ready for the show?" And Tim's like, "Oh, I got a customer here. We was supposed to leave today with his truck, and something to do with the hydraulic lines, and whatever setup they didn't work, and it busted a line." And Tim was all flustered, and he just felt duty bound to get that guy going before the evening was over. So, I'm not going to knock him for that. So it is what it is. And he said, "Hey, can I reschedule for next week?" And which we weren't able to do that because we have Rob from Highway and Heavy Parts is going to be on here next week. Super excited about that. Now, you want to talk about a guy that can answer some fucking questions. You talk about a guy that has a good memory. That's the guy. We're going to have him on next week. You definitely want to tune in for that show. You definitely want to bring your harder than normal questions. Rob is so good at that kind of stuff. And then I believe the week after that, we're having the Worldwide Diesel Boys on. I'm not sure if they're both going to come on or just one of them. And then somebody asked me in the comments for having Blevins Diesel on. We actually did reach out to him because so many people asked us to, and he was pretty shy about that. He's only been on social media for a couple months. He blew up really quick. He's got a big following. But hey, I like White Claws. Don't knock on those. Do I like IPD rebuild kits? Yeah, man, I really do. I really like IPD's rebuild kits. They're great. The only problem with IPD rebuild kits is a lot of them, they blatantly tell you they're not going to warranty the kit, right? So that's kind of sketch. For a guy like me, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but for a guy like me, using an IPD kit and knowing that they're not going to warranty it, big fucking deal, right? We do enough volume that I can kind of absorb something like that if there was to be some kind of an issue. But for a single owner operator or something, they're probably not the guys to use. A lot of their kits, the most desirable kits, they blatantly don't warranty them. That's kind of a shit deal, They have great products, but that's kind of a turn off a little bit there, right? Anytime they're going out of the box with, and that's why they're so desirable. They have some really unique products that I really like to use. In fact, one of the elite builds that we're getting ready, we're building 3 elite builds over the next 2 weeks. And one of them I'm doing with and obviously we're coating it and we're upgrading their kit, but we're doing an IPD kit because that was the only kit I could get that was a skirtless kit for 5EK. So I have a monotherm piston. They were the only ones that make it. So now we're having our own monotherm piston made for the 6NZ, and we're using our own pistons for the 6NZ elite build. And I believe we're using our own pistons for the 640 build, but for that 5EK, I had to go get an IPD. So Blevins diesel didn't pass on the offer so much as it just he's not confident. He didn't seem to be confident in doing something like that. Like he's very reserved guy, and like I don't think he wants to be as famous as he is, and he's worried it will make him more famous, if that makes sense. So the Blevins diesel guy would just kind of like decline. So 737-204-9316. I think that's the number to our shop. Somebody else knows our number, but I don't. Give him 6 months. Yeah, give him 6 months. He'll come around. There's other people I could have on. I know James from Trademark's going to come on again. We could get Matt Rich as well from Coonley Brothers. He might be fun. I don't know how much he, help people out, but he'd be fun to have on. I know that. But are you going to keep Total Seal in stock for the C50 or an ACERT? Probably not. We have a new agreement with Total Seal, and they're making us rings for all of our light duty and medium duty kits that we've recently come out with. So we do have a great working relationship with them, and they're providing us all kinds of rings right now, but we're probably not going to continue to do them for the bigger engines. I still have quite a few people are still getting them from us like crazy, but when they're gone, we're probably not going to make any more until there's been some kind of give with the EPA, or until I make enough money to pay for the testing to be done, which I'm not against doing, but I just don't have the $100,000 you got to give those pieces of shit so they'll do something for you. So anyway, all right, guys. Do you sell rear sump oil pan for the B model? Yeah, I do. They've went up in price quite a bit, though. I used to get them for, I think, $700 700 something, almost just under $900. And in the last 9 months, they went up to like, I think 1,100. Fucking retarded. They did improve them though. They were having problems with them at first, and now and I liked them before, but they weren't thick enough on the flange, and they actually recalled them. Now that they've improved them, they've went up quite a bit. So, and it might be due to tariffs. Somebody said tariffs. It might be, but I'm almost positive they're made here. Almost positive. I don't want to claim they're made here, but we use the oil pan all the time. We put a new oil pan on every build that we do, so I buy a lot of them. But yeah, it's pretty disconcerting. The price went up on them so much, but there's still a way better deal than buying one from Kaz. So I'll continue to use them. And the nice thing about them though is they come with everything. They come with all the plugs and everything that you need, and you don't have to buy anything extra. Have all the O-rings, and so it's kind of nice in that regard. Even comes with your pickup tube, O-rings, and all that shit. So anyway, guys, I probably better go home. You guys have a good night. Good show. Good time. I had fun. It's unfortunate Tim wasn't here. But we managed to get by without him and have a good show anyway. I appreciate everybody that participated. Thank you for coming and hanging out. We love you long time. Like always, I will see you guys next Wednesday, 7 to 9 Central Time, or 7 to 10 Central Time, apparently. Anyway, you guys have a good night.